Okay, it's 6 o'clock, call meeting to order. And just so all of you have noticed, things have changed a little bit. Is it good, is it bad, it's different. I'm not sure I like this because I'm gonna have to put my arms on back on. But, because of that, because you guys will be sweating, I'll freeze. But anyways, it's a trial run. If this doesn't work, we'll do something else. We may move Betty over here, so she can see everybody, but, just a change. So. Okay, and, number 2 is consent agenda. Review and approve minutes of May 26th, 2026.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and second. Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor? All opposed? So moved. 5-0.
She's not saying.
I need to look this up. Thank you.
2B is review and approve treasurer's warrants.
Make a motion to review and approve treasurer warrant.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any questions? Seeing none. All in favor? All opposed? So moved. 5-0. Did you want the warrant read?
Yes. Okay, so on the agenda, we have warrant 55 and 56 that were from last year, last week. Payroll 21 was $10,217.18, and AP was $29,891.75. Then we have 3 warrants that are on for this week. It's warrant 57. It was the payroll warrant for $12,762.79. The sewer warrant is number 58 for $4,545.04. And then our AP warrant of number 59 was $1,117,135.67 for a grand total of $552.43.
Probably should have read that before.
They all have the warrants, yeah, all the select board had it. It
Any
was,
questions on this? Or this? Okay. What? Okay. Number 3, it says no presentation, but we do have a presentation which we added. So, Evan, what's up?
Hello everyone, I'm the new rec director in Madison. My name is Evan Bouget. Just wanted to propose summer camp we're going to be trying to be running. I just started last week, so I came and met with Angel about 3 hours ago. So a little bit of a rough draft of what we got going on here. I've sent out this flyer to the Madison Elementary and Middle School. So they have those as of today to be sent out to kids before they go home for the summer on Friday. So this camp's going to be located at the Madison Middle School, Main Street Middle School, from 8 to 1, fall grades going into grades 1 through 6. $75 a piece. Breakfast and lunch is provided. We will provide the counselors, CPR certified, first aid certified, and we'll have assistance from Mike Pike, who is the resource officer over in Madison. And the dates will be July 6th to the 9th, 13th to the 16th, and the 20th to the 23rd. Some activities that we'll be doing will be, open gym in the schools, arts and crafts, accessibility to the playground and the fields at the middle school, and then the Skowhegan is going to be holding UMaine and New Balance field day, where local rec departments will come together with UMaines Division I athletes. I think they estimate around 60 Division I athletes will be there, and they'll run the kids through all sorts of different sports stations. And that will be set up for transportation by bus. We will not have buses transporting kids to and from the camp, but for that day, we will. And we're also
We're transporting from Madison to there.
yeah, for the camp, yeah, it'll be from Madison to Muskegon. And then we also want to try to do a bike rodeo where we have kids come with their bikes and their helmets, and we'll run them through a safety course and check their bikes and make sure that they're following the right rules. What I've proposed is we're splitting the cost of counselors. So as of right now, this week I've started to interview all the counselors. I think I have one more tomorrow. That'll be the last one. We'll have 10 high school if we use them all. This is if we have a lot of kids. It all depends. It's 8-to-1 ratio in the state of Maine. So as of right now, we'll have 10 that are in high school, and one that will be a lead counselor that's college age. I believe he's my age. So they will all be certified. We're going to do $15.10 an hour for the regular, and the lead counselor will make 50 cents more, $15.60, 20 hours a week. We do this Monday through Thursday, 5-hour program for 3 weeks. So the total for the regular counselors would be $9,060, and the lead counselor would be $936. I've also thought about the CPR certification, if you guys want to pitch in for that at all, to get our counselors certified. So for payroll, Anson would pay $4,530, and Madison would pay for the lead counselor. Or if we were to decide to go just straight down the middle, 50-50 split, it would be around $5,000 or $9,996. And then if we were to add the CPR training, 50-50 split again, $231. So the total with CPR training would be $4,761, and then the total with CPR training 50-50 would be $5,231.
I forgot you,
Evan?
Evan.
Yes.
You have 2 people in here that are CPR certified instructors. Will you be willing to donate that training fee?
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, so I'll cut that
I've talked to Tracy Henderson over at Madison. She's the one who runs the health over there, and she was willing to set up a class and have them, since they're all from Madison, go over to the high school and they'll do a class, but
Yep.
if you guys are willing to donate, that'd be awesome.
Yep, you just give us a date and time. Okay?
So that means that 462 is.
So that means the $42 a piece.
You're doing it, you said you were doing donating.
For free.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, just couldn't hear you, you
Yeah.
pointed that way, so.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's all I have.
So that cuts that budget down.
Yeah.
Go.
If I may add one more, I created a MyRec program where you scan this QR code on the flyer. I've also posted it on Facebook on the Madison page, and it'll bring you to the MyRec. You can't pay on MyRec. You can register your kids, so I can see the name, address. They got forms on there to fill out, and then you would pay at the Madison Town Office.
So this has gone out to Carol Gap.
That has not, no, that has gone out to Madison only because I wanted to get it.
Okay.
It has to be approved.
Okay.
So it's
So
4 hours
we-
at least for 11 people. Okay, so just give us a date and time. Okay?
So if we approve it tonight, then it will go out to, you get it.
I will get it out tomorrow, yeah. That way the kids can have it before they go home to school.
Any questions?
Yeah, that'll be free from the school, it's a program that's going locally.
What did you put in for rec?
So Jim actually asked me, I did not have a chance to look at the budget. I'm like 95% certain we have sufficient in there. But if we are in favor of it, I would recommend that you make a motion contingent on us verifying the funds are available. And because then I can confirm it tomorrow and then let you know. That way we don't have
Let's
to.
go read it, okay.
Because if we don't make it contingent, we hold it for, then it'll be too late for the kids to get in. Which is why I requested that you come in when I called Jim to make sure.
It's not gonna do it wrong.
And we have a couple of programs which aren't doing anything. So.
Yeah, we had
should have
two
enough.
staff members right before I started that were being paid through the program. That's what I was telling Jim. Two staff members of that split that had both resigned. So that those funds are still sitting and so those funds could be used to offset the funds for these counselors.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
This is 75 per child.
Yes.
Do you have a family rate for somebody who might have like 4 kids?
No, that's a good question. No, I don't.
Okay. Just wondering.
Might be something for next year.
4 or 5 kids.
Yeah, absolutely right. Field trips are something that might happen since it's short notice, and I just started literally last Monday. Field trips are kind of hard to plan this far out, so
Yeah.
hopefully we can get them going, but I'm not sure.
Has there been any thought of
Yeah.
some kind of funding for those that can't?
For those that can't,
For those that can't pay?
yeah, we actually, we have scholarships. I believe we have $600 left in scholarship money from last year. And I will be meeting with Travis Bent from the Business Alliance of Madison to try to get some more scholarship money.
Okay. So that might help a parent that's got 4 kids.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So my last question is for the board and those that know me, and can we transfer that money to this program? Is there any reason why we can't transfer that money that we have for rec to this program to pay for this? Is there any reason? It's all rec.
So it's all right.
It's still for rec.
Right.
It's designated for rec.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
so-
all right, I just.
And it was designated for rec personnel, which
Correct.
they would still be doing.
Right.
Just needed to
Yeah.
be on the table to make sure that we're all in agreement on that, and it wasn't left out, so that tomorrow somebody can say, well, we can't do that. So.
Oh, it's when it's
Okay.
space.
So,
So I make a motion to accept the summer rec pending verification of our funds.
for you, full 50/50.
It's gone down almost $1,000. Yeah. Yeah. The 50/50.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? All opposed, so moved. 5-0, you have it.
Congratulations.
All right. Thank you guys, I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Evan. I'll be in touch in the morning, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
So next time, we'll see how easy it is.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Number 4, regular agenda. A, discuss and approve a request to implement a town permit fee schedule. And we received stuff on that a few weeks ago. Did any of you want one of these? You can have mine if you want it. That's the summer camp stuff.
Has everybody seen these?
Is it? Okay.
It's the permits that, like if we're gonna build some
somebody's gonna build or they'll charge a fee. Would you like to say?
So in the past, the citizenship pretty much paid for all of the permits. I apologize for that. And so it was suggested that we begin to have permits. And those that are building will pay for the permits and help supplement code enforcement that we have to pay for. So that's why we're talking about the permits, because it's not right that you have to pay for a permit for somebody else's from their house. They should be paying for their own permits. So do we have any discussion on this?
When did this happen?
So, yes, so thank you for asking that.
Because I haven't seen this much.
So that first page
I had
was
this.
presented when Jesse presented it to the town. And then I specifically put it on the agenda for discussion because the select board needs to make a decision, maybe form a committee or something, because it has to be figured out and decided upon in order to get it on town warrant. And it's gonna be a process, it's not something that can be done, in one meeting, it's gonna take some time. And then when I was pulling the copies, I was like, you know what, let me go to some of the neighboring towns. So I went to a few of the other towns that have their own fee schedules, and I printed them out for the select board. I apologize to the residents, I printed them out, I kid you not, an hour ago. Because I was like, it would be good for them to have something to compare to. And so I printed it out from what the towns were, Canaan, Skowhegan, Madison, and I think Emden, maybe Emden. But, so I tried to get some of the towns that are in the area for them, just to give them an idea of what their fee schedules were. And so, that's the packet that Leanne was talking about.
I do appreciate it, so that.
Can we get this out on the website?
Absolutely, absolutely, I did it right, all the stuff that's on here can go on when we put the new stuff, it's just that I didn't have it beforehand.
Good information.
Yeah, that's why I pulled it, because it gives you an idea of what the other towns around us are doing.
I wish I had known I have all of that in a spreadsheet.
And that's-
It's a really big spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I mean, I did some others like Augusta, Portland, Bangor, Waterville, just so people could see, like, I mean, a new house in Portland costs like $5,000. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's very possible, like, should they decide that they want to do a committee or they want to, whatever the select board decides, that might be very valuable for them.
Yeah, I
But I figured this was a start.
It's not apples to apples, obviously, right? Anson is not Waterville, it's not Skowhegan.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I did towns right around this here.
And I will say, I generally support it, I think it's a good idea, sort of. But I think that we need a little more data. I think that the report that was given and the presentation kind of jumped around. First it was, this is 6 months, then it became 3 months, then it became 1 month. So that kind
I
of,
mean, 3 months, 6 months, 1 month.
the permits that were on that report that you gave, actually you said at first this was a 6 month.
Yeah, it
And then it
was,
became 3 months, and then it became, well, this was actually 1 month, because nothing happens in January. And then,
well, that was literally the amount of permits that have been pulled in Anson
right,
from January to when we
and
met
then
in
you were
June.
like,
So
but
that
it's
is,
only reflective of really 1 month, and so I think we need to see more. And like, mine was on there for a garage, and like, it really wasn't a permit, I did it. And by the time I shut my computer off, I got my denial because I forgot to fill out something. So it wasn't like there was a huge process, and I'm not arguing it, but I think that there needs to be a little more in that as to permits and what's happening in town. And I don't think that we can say that it's gonna offset or really lower taxes that much. I think that we hear that. I think that we hear that like with schools. We're gonna close a school building, happened twice. I don't think our budget has ever dropped. So I think we have to be careful how we word that, to say,
Oh, your taxes is gonna drop.
yeah, this is gonna totally offset a salary or something. So I just think we have to be careful how we word that. That's all, as a board. But I just think it needs to be looked at a little bit more. But I do accept the concept of it. And that's just my opinion.
So what do we need to do today? Just accept the packet and review it and bring it up again, that's what we're talking about.
So the select board really needs to say, yes, we're gonna pursue looking into this, and this is how we're gonna do it. So maybe you give me authority to form a committee with residents of the town, and maybe some of the select boards can be on that. Or maybe maybe the select board wants to totally take charge of that and figure it out for themselves. But it will never move beyond this, we're looking at it and thinking about it phase if we don't make a plan. And so the plan is for today, which is why it's on the agenda. Because it's been presented, so now you can form a plan of how you're gonna move forward, so that when it rolls around time for the town meeting, it's been figured out and we can put it on the town warrant for the citizens to be able to look at it and vote.
And if you don't want to do anything with it, that's fine too. This is
That's
just an
true.
informational thing. This was just, we have noticed that you guys are the only ones really in the area that aren't charging for this. With everybody concerned about taxes, this is a way to, I know you don't want to hear this, but it is a way to reduce the amount by putting the burden more on the applicant.
And our fee to you is a flat fee, it doesn't
Right.
change no matter what.
Correct,
no
right.
matter
So
what
I
we
was
do
gonna
with
gain
permits,
if
it
you,
doesn't-
right.
Correct, yeah.
Doesn't monetarily benefit us at all.
Correct.
It's just to help you guys out, to, try to, you'll never come close, like you said, you'll never come close. I mean, you'll never completely cover the whole cost, because something could fail 10 times, these guys go out there 10 times, so now that's obviously much more time, that we have to send them there, which costs you money, actually. So you're never gonna recoup 100% of it, this could get you a lot closer. And again, the onus should be on the person doing the building. But it's just informational for you guys, you can choose to not do anything, you can, reassess. The numbers we gave you are just our recommendation. Okay, and that's to bring it in line with what the actual costs are for inspections.
So thoughts on how you want to move forward? You want to put together a committee, as I suggested, with your board member or two and residents.
Should the planning board be involved?
The planning board should definitely be involved, probably more so than others.
Yeah.
I would say if you're gonna have public, this is just my opinion, if you're gonna have public there, have it be, somebody that's in the trades, they might have some thoughts on that. Obviously, it's gonna cost them a full permit now, and nobody's gonna be happy about that, but, they would have suggestions like, oh, well, in this town, they do this, in that town, they do this, it might be helpful.
Or retired from the trades.
And of course, we would be available if you have questions or want to see the portal or how permits get processed. we're available.
Sharon, are you in the planning board?
No, I was, but I couldn't be, you can't hold a position. I was on that for 34 But the planning board should be included in
Oh,
this.
absolutely.
And I like her idea of contractors, because they really have a good use of it. Angel, I got it right this time. Angel put the plan together tentatively, and we'll take a look at it, which will include the planning board as well, or some of the members of the planning board.
So just so I'm clear, I'm putting a tentative plan of who the committee is gonna be.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay, I just wanted to make sure I was clear.
And I think two
Yeah.
of the parts of the committee should be somebody that knows the business and the plan.
It would probably be helpful to have Jeff on that committee as well as your CEO.
Correct.
You know, he can walk you through the process and how many trips it takes to go out to a site for a new home. You know, how many times he's inspecting there for that, which kind of guides why there needs to be a fee associated with it. So I think having the CEO would be helpful.
So we have the motion.
Second.
You have a second? Any further discussion? Any further clarification? Okay, seeing none? None? All in favor? All opposed? So moved. 5-0. B, 4B, discuss and approve the request to choose town logo for branding. You have I'm sorry.
Yes, we're gonna burn it into your skin, Jim.
Good. And we have them in your packets.
Can I do history?
Yep.
So I did some research, and there is a little bit of information on the paperwork that I gave you. I came across an old logo that at some point was created. I don't know where, I can't find any of the original anything. And then it looked like Nancy rebuilt it. She rebuilt that logo, but the only part she had rebuilt was the water piece of it. So it didn't have anything about the town, it didn't have the incorporation date or anything at all, which is important to have when you're got a logo. We're not Nike, so we need a little bit more than just the picture. And so I took what she had rebuilt and I created some mock-ups of what we could conceivably do with it, with the idea that it has to be approved by the town. So it starts with the select board. They come up with some ideas of whether they think it's worth it or do we want to do something else to it or whatever. And then it goes on to the town warrant for approval at the town meeting. But everything is digital nowadays, and so being able to have a logo that belongs to the town is just, it's just the way it is nowadays. Most of the towns have their own logo that they use.
I think if you go back into the late 90s, Ruth did it.
Yeah.
Nice, do you know her?
Yeah.
And she's still around?
Yeah, I checked her.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
I was here.
That's perfect.
And she doesn't recall. I reached out to her because I was like, I think we did this, if I remember. I'm not
Because
sure.
I really don't like this stuff.
But I think it was just in that transition time when the government got changed. So it might be the late 90s.
Well, and it could be that it's time to do something totally new. It's just, I'm new to Anson. I don't know any of the history of where this logo came from. And obviously, you get people who've been around and they're like, oh, I know how this, I personally will tell you, I live in Pittsfield. I found the person that created the Pittsfield logo and we worked with it. But I'm not from here, so I'm doing the best I can with what I got for your town. And the select board ultimately needs to make the decision about what we're gonna do. And so we can do something with what's in place.
I think this pretty much was formed with the Anson Historical Society.
Ah.
We had letterhead, we had t-shirts made.
I think
I
it
did
was
find
playing
some
with the high school because it was a competition back then.
But,
To
yeah,
name the high school, and
right.
it was the two rivers
Two rivers come
combined.
together.
Darren Bartlett had done
So
that.
that kind of
I won that competition way back then. And then it was a play on the Two Rivers again.
Right.
To go with high school, that's why.
And then the
We've
historical
done that.
society.
And the historical society.
Society picked up on it again, so.
I do believe
I
that.
actually did some research, because I was like, where are the two rivers? I've only seen one. So I did research to figure out where the other river was.
That's how the high school got its name.
Yeah,
Oh,
Caribous.
Yeah,
It was a
Instead of Caribous and it kind of got come together.
It was a competition when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Daryl won, I remember.
Yeah.
The,
And they were fighting over if it was going to be the Mustangs or the Cobras.
right.
'Cause that was the year of the Shelby Cobra.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot
I'm not
said.
attached to it.
There's a lot said. so-
I'm just giving you the history of it. I can't say that I'm attached to it.
So your thoughts are, you don't like it?
No, I'm saying, that's
No,
how I know
I
I got there. There
They
was,
don't look like rivers.
there was a lot of
Oh, yeah,
change,
right.
there was a lot of change happening back then.
It does.
Well, I was
A lot.
I was trying to put
I
in
think
these
it's
patch
also
for the
water.
fire department,
This is.
and I was working with one of the railroad truckers. Because we had one here in Anson, we had one in North Anson.
Some of those.
And I was trying to incorporate the railroad trestle and put in the circle where two rivers meet. That's what I was trying to do, to incorporate something, but.
Well, and Sharon was
Old
saying,
age
Sharon was saying she has a picture on a t-shirt and it looks different than this.
It's not this,
So,
it's actually what
No.
is coming together.
Yes.
I believe it does.
It's probably on our, those envelopes.
Yeah, we had letterhead and,
But for the anniversary of the town,
yeah,
they did the thing for that too.
I'll go back and.
So- So let's make it an event.
And,
Competition, design something.
Let's put it out there. Let's get some ideas. I mean, I don't want to make this decision. I don't like that. I mean, it's not that I don't like it,
I'm like,
it's just, good.
I can make a suggestion. We are doing this with the Kennebec Valley Tourism Council. We are reaching out to the local schools to create, have like a competition in the schools. The kids come up, they're in the graphic arts and stuff like that. And they're creating all these logos as part of their project. And then you put it out to the public and like they can vote on which ones they think are the best one in Anson. But it was a way to get kind of a free logo and get kids involved and, fun way to do it.
and I know the logo of my town, that's how they did it actually. They made a huge competition within the town.
Yeah.
And everybody in town like submitted things and then did it.
And you get
And
the
then they
school
vote.
involved, definitely something for them to remember down the road. Because I know I have a friend that has a daughter that with Kennebec Valley location. She does some amazing stuff. But I think it should be left up to public and the school, but the kids. And we just judge the end. All the town judges the end at the next meeting. Bring it all together. Because I know how some of this stuff works. If you've ever been in a church where they wanted a new carpet, churches split because of carpet. You can laugh, but it happens. So it needs to be left up to them, not me, because I'm not going to be.
Why can't we put it at the
Put on the
town
wall.
meeting? Our annual town meeting?
That's what I'm saying.
And the people that are there can vote for it.
That's right, that's what I'm saying. Is-
But go to the school and ask them to design a patch
Or,
and,
yeah, or a bunch of them,
Yeah.
or the residents can do it too. We have organizations, so bring that in, just bring them all in
And we
and
can-
and the town people that are there to vote, can vote. That's gonna be it. And it's not on us.
So I would caution on a couple of things.
Sure.
First off, if you have 50 people that submit logos, that's a lot to ask your town people to vote on. So figuring out a way to narrow it down prior to, be it the residents voting and then narrowing it down to maybe the top 3 or top 5 for them to vote on. And then as a select board, you should determine for sure what needs to be on there. So like you'll notice every single one of the ones I have on there has the name of the town when the town was incorporated, right?
Well, that can be put out there with the
Right.
thought.
But it has to be deciding what's gonna be there, so that they know.
Have it be a list of requirements for
Right.
the
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
And
Keep in mind, school's almost out too, so you, this is something that would happen. If that was where you were gonna go, this would happen.
And we can, you know, once a bunch of them are put together, when a bunch is put together, we can actually let everybody know and say, hey, today we're gonna decide on 5 of them. So you better come to a selectmen's meeting, because that's where we're gonna decide on 5. And if we have to have it outside, we'll have it outside. But we will decide on whatever. I mean, we can tweak this whole plan, but can we decide that we're gonna leave it up to school kids and residents or groups that want to put it together and give us some ideas?
I'd like to see something pertaining to the bridges in North Anson.
Yeah.
The old railroad bridge, Carabas.
So Larry wants to compete.
Now, when you think of Anson,
Yeah, the trestles, and the old bridges.
that's what I'm saying.
Some of you don't remember the old bridges. Probably a lot of you.
When you put out the criteria, like it's gotta have the incorporated date and the name and this and that, you'll get such an array of
You will.
responses and things that somebody wouldn't have thought of.
So let's put it up there and give it some time. And it's June, let's give it until.
Yeah, we've got the fall, we can bring up plenty of time.
Get some ideas, put out the criteria, get some ideas, and if we have to adjust it from there, then it gives people time to adjust it until the town meeting. And we can tweak it again, maybe in January. Bring it down. We probably wouldn't have a meeting outside in January, but we are vans, so. You never know.
Good way to engage the youth too.
It is.
Community.
A little bit of pride in the community. Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be individuals, it could be a group that gets
So,
together.
it could be the historical society, it could be the ladies clubs, or, whatever. Yeah. So we agree on.
Why do you keep looking at me?
So, because nobody else looks at me when I look at them. So, we are in agreement to.
I agree that we, with Angel, will put together the criteria first, and then we'll present it and have a deadline to when when everything has to be in, and then we can finalize it at town meeting. The winner.
And we will bring the criteria to a meeting beforehand, so you guys can join in on tweaking the criteria a little bit more if that's what it takes. So. Okay? Good.
All right, thank you much.
Next.
What's the next one?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right. C, firstly, discuss and approve a request to begin the process of transitioning from an annual budget cycle to a fiscal year budget. My first question is, why?
Well, a lot of people do it's the fiscal year. Plus it comes up, not at the end of the year, which is crunch time, holiday time, and everything else going on time.
Okay, I pulled back that question. It's not my first question. My first question, what is the difference between an annual budget and cycle and a fiscal year budget? What's the difference? And you guys can answer. Carrie, maybe you can answer that.
I'm still reading this.
Okay.
She's still
Got me.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know.
And this is good information. I kind of know myself, but this is good information on those that are listening and those that maybe don't know?
Fiscal year is from a specific month, like the state's fiscal year is the end of July to the end of June, beginning of July to the next end of June, beginning of July, versus actual fiscal year,
Starting in
January to December 31st.
So what is the advantage of giving fiscal year to annual budget? Don't have.
I only answered what it was. We didn't ask for the follow-up.
So, why are we asking for this?
Do you want me to talk now?
Yes.
I'm trying to give everyone the benefit to talk. So I will be honest and say that when I interviewed for this position, I was surprised to find out that Anson was on an annual cycle. When I moved to Maine, I was surprised to find out that there are towns that are still on an annual cycle, because I come from a part of the country where everything is fiscal. Your county taxes are fiscal, your school budgets are fiscal. So one of the biggest benefits of moving to a fiscal cycle is when it comes time to figure out your budget, we're not trying to do educated guesses on what that budget needs to be, because we will know before the budget gets approved. Right now, when the budget gets approved in March, it was put together in January. The school budget was put together in July of the year before, or it will be put together in June the year after. So you're trying to make educated guesses based on last year and upcoming year, how much they're going to want for your county and your school taxes. If you're really, really fortunate, you're going to guess really close to the mark. If you're not, then you're going to approve a budget that quite literally could be off when the amounts actually come in, and it's to the detriment of the town if that happens. Because there are obligations that the town has to do, and if we've approved a budget and then the assessor has committed the mill rate and everything for the taxes, that's not going to change until the next budget. And if those amounts are off, then you're doing a disservice to every resident in this community, as well as the individuals that work for your town, trying really hard to do what they can for your town. And so it is probably the biggest reason to have a fiscal budget. Yeah, there we go. Any other question?
So does this affect the date of the annual town meeting?
So this is part of the reason I brought it up right now, because if the decision was made by the select board to look at the idea of moving from an annual to fiscal, there's two ways to do it. You can approve a 6-month jump budget, right, that only goes from January to the end of June, and then you would commit in July to June for the following year. So you'd have 2 town meetings. You could do the general March meeting that you already have now, which for anybody who may not know, when you have your meeting in March, you're approving a budget that technically started 2 months earlier, right? And so they're really working on the budget from the year before because it even hasn't been approved. So they're just working on and hoping that it all balances out. But it could be done. Or you can approve an 18-month budget in March that would go all the way around until June of that following year. Those are the 2 ways you can do it. And then when you hit that 18th month, then you are going to start on your fiscal year. Those are really and truly the ways to do it. And there are different towns do it different ways. There's pros and cons with both of them. If you do the 18-month, then you technically only need to have the 1 budget meeting for the town. If you do the split budget, you're going to have 2 town meetings because you have to approve both of those budgets. But like everything, it has to start here.
And the amount of tax doesn't change.
The amount of tax,
The annual
I mean,
tax. that's-
yeah, no, I mean, it'll seem weird because depending on the way the bills fall, it may seem like part of the year is less than the other part of the year. It really just depends on where your bills fall, because some towns will have more expenses in the beginning of the year, other towns have more expenses at the end of the year. So depending on how the bills fall, it may seem like it's less or more, but it's really an illusion because it's only a piece of 1 year and then another year.
Questions that have to be asked. That's all.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So then
And that's
that's
all
gonna
I'm
change
here.
the town meeting to in June or?
So, yes, so what would typically happen is if we moved it to a fiscal budget, most towns have their annual town meeting in June, right before the budget. So you'd have your town meeting, it would be approved, and you'd start your July with your approved budget. And so then you're not running on a budget that really hasn't even been approved yet, which is also another benefit.
Well, we know how it went at the last town meeting to change,
A town meeting, they voted it down.
and the townspeople weren't happy with that, so I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think the town meeting though, if we had like voting on a Friday and then the town meetings had one, I think that might have been a little bit more favorable.
I think if you explained it how you did to us just a minute ago at our town meeting, so people understand it better, that would help. Because I still don't, reading this, I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, no, for sure. And ultimately, that's my role here, right? My role is to help the select board do what's in the best interest of your town and be able to explain it to them to understand why it's in your best interest. It doesn't affect me one way or another if you choose to do this, other than it makes my job a little bit harder because I've got to figure out how to budget for a couple of years, a couple of months when you really don't have a budget. But on a day-to-day basis, it's not really gonna change my life, but it could change yours. And that's the point, right? I'm here to help the select board do what's in the best interest of the town. And based on everything I know on budgeting, it is in the best interest of your town to be on a fiscal budget.
So we could actually ask Channel 11 to let us do a video on that. So you could explain it on a video that could go out to people ahead of time. Because to try to make a decision at the meeting
Yeah.
is just, what is this? I don't understand, no, absolutely not. And I don't know. I mean,
And does this mean that they're gonna have two separate taxes?
Well, it truly depends on the town. The town gets to make that choice, right? So another benefit that could, there's more benefits that come from it, right? So if we're gonna talk taxes, right? Taxes, when you're on a fiscal cycle, which cannot be done right now, we could do a tax club that is very beneficial for individuals who struggle to pay their taxes as a bundle, right? So the tax club, the way tax clubs work is that they know what their taxes are, so you give them an amount that they pay every month. They come in every month to pay that payment. So by the time their taxes are due, they're done paying them, right? They don't get hit with, I've got a $5,000 bill that I don't have the money for because they've made payments. And if they are on tax club, then you can extend that deadline beyond your due date to encompass the entire year because you know about it. Another thing that is absolutely beneficial, but it is not mandatory, is you can have a spring and a fall bill. It is not a mandatory thing. Towns do not have to do it, but it serves benefit purposes. It serves benefits to the residents because they're paying two bills instead of one. So if you've got a $5,000 tax bill, and God willing you don't, but if you have a $5,000 tax bill, then you pay $2,500 twice a year. You don't get hit with a $5,000 bill all at once. The other thing is, when you commit your taxes all at once in the town, we rely on those monies to pay all the stuff that we do for your town. If the money doesn't come in, we may not have the money, right? And we understand, you know, residents are struggling, but we are still obligated to pay those bills. The people that we pay the bills to don't care that the residents didn't have the money. They just know that they want the money. And so by providing alternate ways for members to pay, that helps. And if we're getting the money part of the year here and part of the year there, we actually have more operating capital than we would have waiting for it all to come in all at the same time.
So if we did to start with, a 2-year tax club, then nobody would really know that we changed.
So you can't do a 2-year tax club. You can only do 12 months because it has to be a commitment date.
I see.
It can only do that. And I will get to your question on one thing, but there was something else that I was going to say that went right out of my head when Joe
But
started
if they knew that the next year was gonna be the same way, so that 18 months where we're changing over really make a lot of difference.
So,
If they knew they could do it.
yes, I mean, the good and bad about the 18-month is the 6-month, that 6-month window that we're splitting, you can't really do tax club for that because it's 1 year commitment versus another year commitment, right? So the reason why we don't have tax club now is because your year falls January to December, your taxes are due, I believe August is when they're due, and they're usually committed in the summer, right? So you've got a really short window of, we're gonna try and break it up in 3 months for people. I mean, it just doesn't even work that way. So there's a lot of towns, I can provide all kinds of data, there are a lot of towns around the state of Maine that do tax club. But it works throughout a year cycle of the taxes. The one other thing that I wanted to say before I forget is education, as Carrie, correct, has mentioned, is key in everything that we do, right? So doing it on Channel 11 is a great idea, but one of the things that I put in the proposal that I submitted was that we have meetings where we specifically offer it to the residents to come in, this is something we're looking at doing, this is why we want to do it, and it's an educational meeting to help them understand what they're voting on. Because everybody votes smarter when they know what the issue is.
You have a question?
Yeah, Angel, I'm following you through the whole thing, I am.
No worries.
Where I got hung up a little bit, when you got talking about, you know, you make a payment to the town for 12 months, every month.
Yeah,
What's that
so-
in the interest of a bank and a mortgage? Same idea, escrow account's the same thing.
Yeah, the difference between an escrow account, for example, right? You pay into your mortgage and you pay into your escrow account. They do a hypothetical based on what they think your taxes are gonna be, and they tell you this is what you're gonna pay, right? The town does not do it like that. The towns do it based on what your taxes were the previous year. And they let all the residents know up front. So if you had a tax bill in 25, right? And then 26 rolls around. Understand, this is a fiscal. You're on a fiscal cycle, not an annual. But you're on the 25 cycle and your bill was $1,200. You're moving into 26, you come in and you request to go onto the tax club. They're gonna base your tax club on 25's taxes. That's what they're gonna base it on. And most towns do it over a 10-month period. They don't even do it over 12, so that it's paid off by the time taxes are due.
Mhm.
And it gives a little bit of window for if you have a resident that's really struggling and they miss a payment, they've got a little bit of window to make sure their taxes are still paid on time. But everybody is told, this was based on last year's taxes. It is possible when the commitments come through from the assessor that you might end up owing a little bit more. If that happens, the bill comes in, you can come in and you can pay extra every month to take care of that. Does that make sense?
It does,
Where
it does.
your mortgage company, they kind of do this similar thing, but they will always err on the side of higher versus lower because they don't want to be in the negative. So if your bill goes up in 25, they're going to charge you more in 26 to ensure that they have extra money sitting in there to pay it.
Okay, now my next question is how does that work on the escrow accounts with the banks paying the town taxes once or twice a year?
So if you're on an escrow account, most people who are on escrow accounts don't go for tax club because they're already paying on a monthly basis. But from what I understand here in the state of Maine, which is not true in every state, you do not have to pay your escrow account for your insurance, for your taxes. It was something I was told when I first moved over here. You would have to talk to your lender to verify that. But if you pay to a mortgage and they pay and you pay into your escrow for that, it really wouldn't make sense to pay both. You would want to pay your escrow or stop paying your escrow and just pay the town. Tax club more often than not helps out the residents that are just struggling. It's really beneficial for a lot of the elderly that are on very fixed income and they don't have a way to bring in extra income. And so it really helps them budget out throughout the year instead of struggling at the end and they have to decide whether they're going to pay their taxes or they're going to buy food.
So a person that's paying escrow, do they just let their bank know that this is the way it's going to be from now on, or?
So if it happens and the town votes it and approves it, then we as a town would let all of the companies that we work with know that we have moved to a fiscal budget and they would work with the town to take care of the bills and everything.
Including the residents that have escrow.
Yes, because if the resident pays an escrow account, the escrow company, all of your mortgages, they send the information and your payments to the town. And so we would let them know. Now, it is not foolproof. Nothing is foolproof ever. Is it possible that they'll miss the notification and then you'll get a call saying, wait, what happened? Yes, I'm not going to lie to you and say that there's not a possibility of that happening. But what I encouraged, and I was in Pittsfield when we did this transition, I worked over there when we did this transition, we went from an annual to a fiscal, is we let all the residents know, you need to call your mortgage company and tell them that this is what's happening in your town. On you, call them and tell them. That way you're not relying on them getting the information from somebody else. You just let them know, then they can document it in your account so that when it's time for them to send the taxes in, they know what's going on.
Okay, now my next question is, excuse me. I can't confirm to you about whether it's a law or it's not.
Yeah, it's just something I heard, you have to check.
I do know that it is very strongly encouraged.
What, paying through the escrow? Absolutely. Do you know why it's strongly encouraged?
Because it's already there.
No, it's because it's in the interest of your account, of your mortgage holder. That's why it's encouraged. Because if you choose not to do it, okay, if you choose not to pay through escrow, and there are some states that do not let you do this, I know that. But if you choose not to go through escrow, and then your home goes into lien, and then it goes into lien again, and then it goes into lien again, who is at risk there? Your mortgage company, because they're the ones that's holding your mortgage, right? And that's why they choose not to do that, because it's putting them at risk. I'd love to say they're doing it for your benefit, but that is not why they do it. They do it for their own benefit. It's the same reason they do the insurance. Because if something happens and your house burns down, they're on the hook for all that money. Big business does not look out for the common man, ever.
Never has.
There are things that I do on auto pay because I don't remember to pay them. So, I mean, that's the way I look at my escrow account is, I don't have to worry about paying my taxes, except at the end of the year when they say, well, we took too much, which seldom happens. Oh, we didn't take enough, you gotta pay a little bit more. So, in my opinion, escrow is the way to go.
Well, why couldn't we use this tax club for the people and not change it?
You don't actually have to have a tax club either.
You do not, that's right.
It's
It's
just
just,
divide the taxes.
yeah, you don't have
I
to.
can do it.
I mean, we did it on a person that was correct.
Liens,
Yeah,
yeah.
tax clubs evolved because before, you probably remember, there used to be an article because you couldn't prepay your taxes.
Right.
Because towns didn't want to pay interest to anybody. If you paid before that town meeting, there was an article that you couldn't prepay the taxes before. And then people realized, oh, that's not legal. So if you wanted to come in, somebody pushed that. You could come in and pay your taxes, so that article went away. But they still made tax clubs and communities.
So we could do it now and not have to, you know.
To kind of remember, oh, if I pay, and people gave discounts.
Right. I mean,
The concern is, but escrows can be a tricky thing.
Yeah.
And yes, you can put it on the ownership of the taxpayer, but.
Oh, for sure. And that's why I say always,
Yeah.
all I can do is impart knowledge.
No, I know.
Some of it I don't know. I clearly said it was something I heard. I
Because
don't
they
know
won't
if
give,
it's
no,
even
no,
true.
but I mean, with transitions like this.
Well, but the transition,
No, but I'm just saying, I'm sure you've had some.
as far as
where they
letting,
double-
right,
double-
and that's it, right,
And
that's
then they double
exactly.
their mortgage
Right,
payment.
and that's
And they're
exactly
giving
what
it
I-
back for 2 years.
Yeah, and that's
it can
exactly
be a
what I-
struggle for
Yeah.
the resident.
You had another question?
Well, it probably really doesn't amount to much of anything, but Angel, if I'm not mistaken, and it has been a while for me, but if I'm not mistaken, escrow account actually grows interest, correct? Just like a savings account?
I will be honest and say, I do not know that. I do not know that.
I believe so.
You have to go into your account.
It does.
Your account would notate if it does do that. I just don't know. I
It's
know
been a
that,
while.
I know that at the end, if they have extra money, that's why you'll get a check back, right? Because, probably because they don't want to pay you interest, so they just send you the check, would be my guess.
So the escrow is a personal choice.
Right, and it's all based on your mortgage. It really and truly has nothing to do with whether the town goes to fiscal account.
Because that
It's
tax
just stuff
club
to
is-
be aware of.
That tax club is just one thought.
It's just one thing,
Whole
right.
process, so, I guess the thing we need to decide is, do we want to move forward with some more serious discussion and actually moving forward with this? And getting information out to more of the residents so that they can make an informed decision when it comes around. And hearing the whole conversation, is that where we move?
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
So, on the recommendation that I supplied, and it should be out, and it actually was on the website that went out, I actually made the recommendation, my town did a 6-month and a year one, that's how my town did it. I made the recommendation that we do an 18-month. It is a little bit, well, I'm not lying, it's more work, it just is. But the reason I'm making the suggestion that we do 18 months is we have to start planning for the budget next month, regardless of what budget we're doing, right? We have to start the steps to plan next month. But if we start the steps to plan and then we plan for an 18-month budget, and I do a terrible job of educating the residents and then everybody decides at the last minute that they don't want to do it, if we plan for 18 months, we could make it an annual budget. But if you plan for 6 months and it doesn't pass in March, we don't have a plan beyond that. And so that's why I made the suggestion that we plan for an 18-month budget. And so that we're erring on the side of caution in the event that we can't get the residents to understand that it truly is, I'm trying to do something that truly I believe to be in your best interest and not something that will make my life.
I don't know what else to say. I would almost guarantee the auditors would recommend it also.
Auditors would absolutely recommend it, yes.
That has been
Yeah,
pushed by.
I know that, yeah. The January audit is a rush, usually.
Yeah.
January, February.
Yeah.
And they would rather it be.
We're always getting grief because we don't have the audit,
And most auditors would rather deal with this, with the.
And so ultimately, the select board would have to make a decision if they thought it was worth it. If they did, which one option they thought would be better. We would plan, we'd have the March meeting, And in March, the town would make the decision, but it would involve lots of prep beforehand, educating the residents. We could do the video, which is a good idea, as well as offering in-person sessions for people to come in and learn about it. So,
I almost think I'd be willing to try it. But I'm willing
So I
to
get some
try.
more nods of heads or no?
Only one person, one voice. Still be a helper, would you?
just like I don't want to decision.
Darryl?
You won't say that to me,
You're still gonna pay the same amount of money, it's just you're gonna bring up a little different. And the town meeting will be in go time, not slow time,
Right.
Correct.
which sucks.
He'll talk.
And it takes those that that talk, can get it out there, put out your opinion, and let's see what's gonna happen. As far as I'm concerned, let's go with the 18 month. And, start moving on this.
We need a motion.
You don't have to give a motion, you can do the other way around if you want.
That's right, you don't have to
Totally up you guys.
But if he's gonna go for it, yeah, regardless of, we need a motion or not.
I have another question.
Sure.
So if we decide to do this, we don't have anything to work with right now. We can't see anything, I can't see it to say, I would like to go with 18, I guess. I mean, you're telling me if we do this, it's gonna be good for the auditor and everything else.
To say,
You know what I mean? But I can't see it. You brought up a proposal to do this, but we have nothing here to look at.
And in order to plan for an 18-month budget, it's the same way you're gonna do it like if you're planning for your yearly budget. It is a process. So, and please hear me, and I do not mean this in any way, and please, nobody take offense. But planning a budget takes time and it takes energy on the account of not only myself, but the select board, the other people in the town, the people that are requesting funds through the charitable organizations. It is a process, and it takes 6 months to plan for a budget. So that's why I'm saying I recommended that we plan for an 18, because we plan for the 18-month. You will get an 18-month budget. When you have to sit down and plan your budget, you'll get an 18-month budget. And then if it goes before the town and it gets voted down, it is much easier to pare back to our annual budget than if we only plan a 6-month budget, which is what my town did. My town only planned a 6-month jump budget. And then if, it is a little different because my town's council, so it didn't rely on the town vote, but it's the premise of the thing. If the budget hadn't passed, they weren't prepared for an entire year.
So the 18 month brings us from January.
January 1 to June 30.
Right, to June 30. So that brings us to our normal budget year. And if it's passed, then we're ready to go into the fiscal year.
That's right,
in
right.
July.
If it's passed.
Right.
And if it doesn't pass, then we have to plan for the annual budget anyway.
Right, right. So I make a motion, do I make a motion? Want me to make a motion? I make a motion that we do the 18-month physical budget preparation.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second. Anything else? Any other discussion?
I just think we need to have a lot of education.
A lot, because people in this town are not going to accept it.
I'm
Just telling you.
I'm
I'm just telling you.
And that's why I made the proposal of the 18 month. But ultimately, I'm willing to do the education. People have to just be willing to come and hear it.
I've been through many meetings where it's gotten turned down in another
Yeah.
municipality many times.
So you'll be-
It did just get passed in that municipality, but
But it's a lot of
it
work.
would take a lot to do
It
it.
takes a lot of work to do a budget, like you said. Now we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna have the town shut it down again, and we wasted all this energy. And that means more meetings for all of us.
But that's why I proposed the 18, because we'll have a budget in place, right? We're gonna have it, so then then we won't use that last 6 months of that piece of the budget. We're only gonna use the annual budget.
So in March, when we go to March, and they shut it
You're
down.
being very negative.
Listen, I saw the townspeople,
Correct.
when we tried to change
A
a
date.
vote for a town meeting, they were against it almost 100%. This town is,
All you can do is exactly.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all you can take it.
So what?
You can't rock
You still have to do the budget.
That's right.
a yearly budget, you fall back.
So in a simple explanation, and I know you'll correct me if I'm wrong. With an 18-month, we have an 18-month budget, but if they don't approve it, then all we have to do is cut 6 months off that budget and add it to the
Yeah.
next year. That's all. There's not a whole work of
It's
a
just
ton of
so
stuff.
at the meeting that
Yeah.
either it passes or it doesn't.
yes,
So we're cutting a third off.
But if you do the 6-month thing, it's gonna be a whole lot. less.
Yeah.
It would be, it'd be a lot, that's right.
But with good education,
And so just so you know, because I am a pessimist at heart, I strive very hard to be optimistic, and I'm a pessimist at heart, which is why I suggested the 18 months, is then we set up the warrants in such a way that we propose the 18-month, right? If the 18-month fails, then you have a 12-month that they can vote to approve, right? So we're doing what's in the best interest of the town, but hoping to educate them that this would be better for them in the long run. And then we see what they say. I mean, that's the pro and con of democracy, right?
Educate a few, well, educate some more.
And those of you that approve of it and have Facebook or whatever, then put it out there and explain it. If you don't approve it, then explain it that way. I mean, whatever you want to do it. But get it out there. Don't just sit on it. Get it out there. You know, we'll do something with Channel 11. We'll do something to get that information out. And so they can do it before. So that's all we can do. And I think it's a good idea. It doesn't affect the amount of tax I pay.
Because our school budget
Right, but that's school budget.
is not presented until after our
Correct.
budget is finalized.
Right. And
Yeah,
that-
it's just
that's a
part of
huge-
the problem.
that's a huge
The county
part.
budget is also approved after our budget.
So, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor? All opposed? So moved, 5-0. We're almost halfway through it.
no, I can't.
Board B, discuss and approve a request to purchase Adobe Creative Cloud for the town administrator. So we just approved this a while ago, or somebody else did not, for the fire
Fire
department.
department, yeah.
Was it the Creative
How
Cloud?
much did that cost?
Oh, that was almost, oh, actually, it was almost $400, I believe, 300 to 400, if I remember right.
Is for one user?
Do you have cloud or do you have just Adobe Pro?
I think it was just the Adobe Pro for the fire department.
So I did give you
It was through Matt, our IT person.
Right, so there is a sheet for you to look at. I did not have it, I was waiting to get it from tech people. So there's a sheet with an email on it in that stack that I gave you.
$39.
That came from him. So there's,
What was it?
yeah.
I don't want to search for it.
So here's the thing. So first off, I guess the question is, do you understand the difference between Adobe Pro and Adobe Creative Cloud? No, okay. So Adobe Pro allows you to manipulate documents. That's what it does. So you can get signatures, you can create things that you can send other people that they'll be able to send to sign virtually. You can create the packets that we use for the select board meeting in that one program. Pro is a great option. Creative Cloud is a step beyond that. So it allows for creation of flyers and different things that the town could use to be able to encourage different things throughout the town. It would be perfect for this event that we're talking about having for the logo.
So it includes the pro, but just.
Yeah, it's a step beyond. It's like, so Adobe Reader just allows you to look at documents, right? And Adobe Pro lets you do something with those documents. Adobe Creative Cloud lets you not only work with documents, but you can work with pictures, you can work with graphics, you can work with that. So it's a step up. So if I, as just an individual user, went out, Matt from BTS said that we can get it for just under $850 for the year. If he does it through the platform that he uses to be able to have it with all the other programs that they have in it, then his estimate was, I gotta look at paper, so I'm not gonna guess. His estimate was about $1,300. It's $1,199.88. And it took him about a week and a half to get it back to me because I was like, I need to know what the amount is to let them know. So I did, this one I did go in and make sure that we do have the funds for it. Because I wasn't gonna ask for something that I knew we couldn't afford. And I've used it in other municipalities. It really is worth its weight in gold. If you had to pay for a graphic designer to do anything nowadays, you're gonna pay a lot of money. And you can do a lot through this platform without having to have a graphic designer. And I'm pretty tech savvy. I mean, I can do a lot on just basic PowerPoint, but this takes it to another level, and it cuts back on a little bit of time that it would take me to do things.
How many users?
This is for one user, and then we have to see if we decided we wanted more, we have to see how much it would cost to add other users. But we have to start with one.
But one user is anybody in the office.
So I'm gonna say,
No, I mean,
I don't know that, and we're not gonna go in that way. You have to go in with the thought that it's one person, because we live in a tech age where they can go in and narrow it so that you can only get in when you're logged in under yourself. So is it possible that maybe somebody else could use it on my computer? Yes, it's possible. But we cannot go into it with that assumption. We have to be upfront about understanding that this is what we're proving, because otherwise we're breaking all these tech laws.
so as it looks at me, I look back and I can't say anything.
Straight thing.
We'll talk about this later. I'm teasing. The fact remains, it'll be in the office.
Yes, it would be in the office, yes.
So, yes. So what was the first number you gave us?
If I purchase it just on my own, not through the cloud, not through the tech support group, it's, the price that Matt gave me was $839.88.
$839.88.
Uh-huh.
If we purchase it on our own. But if we
Yeah,
purchase it on him, it's $1,100.
It's $1199.98.
So if it crashes, is Matt gonna come fix it? Which happens here all the time.
So if the computer crashes, Matt needs to fix it because it's a computer problem. If the program itself crashes, because of the program itself, they are responsible for fixing it. It doesn't matter whether Matt's the one that purchases it or I purchase it.
So the computer package that we got right now, this isn't in it.
It is not in it.
So if we added it in with the package that we have already,
That's why the $1199.98 is there.
and it's covered by tech support, all the other stuff,
Yeah.
correct, through that company?
Yeah, because he'll add it into his bill, that's why he sent me that quote.
Aren't you better off to be covered by both?
I think you should go with the company that we just had our computers put in with, and then you have backup plan in case it crashes.
What is the program crashes? He's not gonna
He doesn't have control of that.
No, he's gonna reach out to them and they're gonna work with him to fix it. That's the way it will work.
But it's cloud, so it's not gonna crash.
You don't know here.
No, it's cloud.
Just saying.
I mean, unless the cloud itself, where Microsoft went
I'm
down a
just
couple
saying.
years ago, and nobody used
You've
it.
had computers down, you've had phones down for how many weeks?
This
I
is-
mean-
This is different. This is different.
That's why
We're
we
talking-
think.
It's not.
We're talking 100% cloud here, we're not talking about putting something on the computer. You're going out to the cloud to put this stuff, to build this stuff, and then bringing it back into the computer. That's cloud.
Jeremy, this is ChatGPT.
Am I right? Anybody in here?
Free to do that.
You can actually.
You can actually, you actually can put it on the computer system. Yes, you can put it on cloud or you can just, it's all purchased, yes.
But if it's on the computer, if it's on the computer and the cloud, it's still on the cloud, and you
That's
watch
right.
nothing, and you don't crash the cloud.
God willing, we don't crash the cloud. That would be
Unless
bad.
Microsoft crashes into the cloud or whoever, and then half the world's down, just like it was when
When
Microsoft crashed.
Microsoft went out, yeah.
And you can work
And you can work.
with the computer.
Correct.
Like if she was in the middle of making something important, then you work from
That's right.
your laptop. If the computer crashes.
I don't see the advantage of paying another $300 for him to do it. We're talking cloud. I mean, it's not on the computer.
It's not unique to him. You can purchase it and the same
Correct.
thing's gonna happen whether he's there or not.
What is he gonna do for us?
I don't understand why
Is there security?
What is he,
more.
what is he gonna do for us?
Why is he charging so much more?
Because if we do it through him, we're putting it on his enterprise agreement. That's why. I mean, he clearly states it in the email. I'm gonna read this email so that you all can hear it. He said, "Hi, Angel. Here's a quote for Adobe Creative Cloud. We can only sell the enterprise agreement for business. It's possible you could save a little and purchase a consumer license direct, which is only $839.88 per year. The enterprise would be better as it would get listed and tracked in your Adobe Enterprise Console, which is, I'm assuming, where Stacy has hers, right, because you're a pro,
Probably.
which we can manage and assign licenses through. So if it's done through the enterprise agreement,
Then you can get a separate license.
well, yes, because he's doing it through the business.
So we're not talking about the same program.
Well, it is still the same program.
No.
It's just that,
Read it again, it's not the same program. One's for business, one's personal.
correct. Oh, that is true.
So it's
Good
not the
point.
same, it's not the same program.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
That
Good
makes-
thing I read that,
That makes a difference, I mean, it just makes a difference.
Should we get a discount if we had two?
So I will say typically when you're looking at businesses, the second one and the third one, you pay less. You still pay, but you pay less, so.
You may pay just for use, I used to look.
Yeah, and that's the same way with Microsoft and most things.
And when I bought Adobe, I bought the whole package, and then I could put on additional people for nowhere's near the whole package, it was just another user. And that's why I found it weird that you could only do one with that package, maybe.
Yeah, I know we had the whole conversation with Nancy at the time.
We did, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't understand it then, so,
Because Maddie had it.
yeah.
Maddie had it on her computer. And she was the only user on it. She couldn't extend it out to us.
Yeah. But did we really know that? And did we buy the right thing to start with?
Right?
Right, and that's,
The pro or the business, because when I bought it, it was business, so I could put it out there, I could assign it to as many as I wanted to pay for, which was substantially less. So, I think you ought to ask the question, what's the second one going to cost us?
I absolutely can find that out. But I have a question, is it contingent on,
Sure.
is it contingent on approval if we add a second or not? That's my question to you.
No, not yet. I think I agree.
What
That's
is-
my opinion.
That's why I'm asking.
What does one offer that the other one doesn't?
I don't want to say go ahead.
As far as doing the, consumer license versus an enterprise account. So an enterprise account is like you said, you can add other users. Consumer would be like just the one person, which would be my guess that that's what Matt has, is they paid for just a consumer license, which doesn't allow you to extend it to. I mean, he clearly says in here that if you did it through it, it would be possible to add extra licenses on there, because they can manage and assign additional licenses.
I'm just gonna be honest, okay? Because, no matter what, because this, I was sitting over here at the time, and this whole contract, and things keep getting added, and there's even backup batteries in that contract.
Exactly.
And when the consultant was here, and he hadn't even read all the contracts through and just said, I recommend the cheapest one. So, it's a no, no matter what for me. I'm staying out of the computer stuff. 'Cause
I've been here.
I think you got, I think you.
It's a mess.
It's, yeah, he's got you over the barrel, so.
You would say no, no.
No matter what.
Either one.
So I'm a no. I'm not saying you don't need it, but I think
No, that's fine.
he's got you over a barrel.
So how long is that contract for?
With him. Well, you know, you guys bought the computers,
We
but
bought
it
them.
keeps getting added. I don't know how.
You don't have.
There were backup batteries in it, and there's
You
not
have
this,
to
and
purchase
there's
more
not that.
and more and more, and now our
Yeah.
budget's gonna be way up here, we don't even know if we have enough money in our budget right now for this.
So it's $170.
We do, we have an budget. I would not have asked for this program to use for the town if I hadn't verified we had the funds for it. I did check on that. And, we can talk about the tech contract some other time because.
Yeah, that can,
Yeah, so please about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, the only thing I'm gonna say, I am a frugal person at heart. So, and I don't necessarily see the benefit of paying an extra $200 for it, but ultimately, it's the select board's decision. I requested the use of this program because there's a lot I can do for this town through this program, and I can do for the select board through this program. And I don't wanna purchase something to this extent that I'm using for the town, or use my own personal for it. And so this is why it came to the board. Because I actually have this at my house, and I use it for my own business, and I use it for my own personal stuff. But I'm not asking to use my own personal, I'm asking to have one that would belong to the town.
can we table it for the next meeting?
Sure.
And so we can find out a little bit more.
Sure, yeah, what's the,
Well, he wants to know about.
other than,
Yeah.
No questions.
I'm pretty sure when we can add to, what's the cost? What's the cost of adding the two?
Because Maddie's,
Are you making a motion to table for the next meeting?
table it for the next meeting to finalize it.
I'll second that. Good night. The motion, the second, to the second table. Table, yeah, the second. Wow, you always said, good. Any further discussion?
I didn't get a vote, I'm sorry. Did everybody vote? I don't
No, no, we voted
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
I over.
I'm like,
Because I seconded.
I saw their hands go up. I didn't see it.
So I let Larry have the second.
Oh, you let Larry have a second, I missed that part.
We have a motion, we have a second,
Nice.
and, no further discussion, so all in favor of tabling? That was applied. All opposed?
So sorry.
Applied, so
Thank you.
interesting, who would have thought we had such a discussion?
It seems like one minute.
Number 5, we will get to you guys, I promise, we will get to you. Yeah, you bet time too soon. Updates, past items.
actually put it in the administrator report. The only update that I have on a past item that came up was, there was a resident who had requested about having sidewalks put in or, having the shoulders paved to help with ADA access for some wheelchair residents. And what I put in my report is that, I have it with legal right now to talk about it, because it is a huge expense. It is a huge expense that would fall on the shoulders of the town and the residents, for a section of road that, I mean, please understand, I absolutely am support of everything that has to do with making sure that we are in compliance with ADA. But if we choose as a town to do that area, and then those residents end up moving, then are we gonna look at going into another area and then doing it in another area? And do we have other residents in the town that aren't wheelchairs? I mean, I don't know enough about the town to know this. So that's why I reached out to legal, because I wanna make sure that we're doing what's in the best interest of the town and everybody to do
Well, I
that.
have taken notice of a couple people going down by my house, which is right on Main Street, in wheelchairs, and they do not use the sidewalks. They use the right down lane because
It's
more
more balanced.
secure and balanced.
Which one
So have you gone?
So you-
I did, I actually, I took a tour with Artie and he, yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
I spotted you, I didn't see you.
He's crazy.
Because I really wanted to understand like, where we were talking about and all of that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So it's not just one resident, it's an apartment building.
No, I get it.
Yeah, so, okay.
And so I have not heard back from legal with what they think is in the best interest of the town.
And we continue to look for grants and.
Absolutely, right, and yes, and I will absolutely talk to DOT as well. But what I don't wanna do, is I don't want to reach out and have the town, so even grants, unless you get a grant that covers everything, the town still ends up on the hook for a piece of it typically. And so I want to make sure that I know exactly what we need to do in the best interest of the town, which is why I reached out to legal first.
Right. Good, so it's still in the process, it's still in the process.
Yeah, seeing how this was an issue that I brought up,
Correct.
can I get involved now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You gotta come sit by me.
Oh, yeah. How we doing? Good, you? Got a white shirt on, yeah? You answered one question before I even came up.
I tried.
Yeah. I did want to ask, has there been any contact, Jim's hiding, has there been any?
No, wait a minute, I'm not hiding, I've been here.
You gotta do something about that beat. Has there been any contact with the state as far as them doing anything? I know we talked about grants, this type of thing. Has there been any communication since, obviously, last month ago with the state people?
No, Greg. Tell me your name again?
Or Gary or something?
Gary, I was trying to remember, it started with a G, I had the G right. Gary, as I was telling Jim, I made, my first 2 weeks here, I didn't have any chance to do anything, other than to look into what was going on. I went around with Artie last week, and I made the decision that I didn't want to reach out to anybody until I knew where the town stood in a legal capacity. And so I have not reached out now. That doesn't mean I'm not going to, but I want to know where we stand before I do that.
Okay. Now, I'm not gonna be long-winded tonight, because I did the big campaign the last time, so I'll be short and sweet about it. But, I believe that.
Your wife's expression says different.
Now, I believe there's some very simple, cheap things that can be done to help the situation now. Because if we're looking at grants or some big money or something big happening, we all know that doesn't happen really quick. So I put together a few pictures, they just show different sections of the road. And at the end, I'll show or tell what my three-part proposal is that I'm presenting you guys with, that I will get your opinions on, and if it's worth you guys going to the state with what I have. So I got these made up with the help of my wife, that's snickering right there. Just so you guys are looking at the same thing that I'm talking about. And
Gary, can I say one thing? If I'm correct, I'm right?
Thank you, Gary.
You can't do anything with the sidewalks through the state because it's the town's responsibility,
yeah,
no matter what.
I'm not even talking about sidewalk tonight.
Okay, but that's the whole thing.
Yeah, but you haven't let me talk yet.
Okay.
Hang on. There you go, Rick. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, these are just sectional pictures, just showing sections of the road that these wheelchair people navigate. As of one day last week, Kyle, which is one of the residents, and I realized too, like I said, I'm not gonna get long-winded, believe it or not. Kyle had to be helped out of the ditch the other day, and I went and see him this morning to see whether or not it's because he got hit, whether or not he got run out of the road, or what happened. The first two, neither one was true. He pulled over and got into the loose material because of the traffic. It was down near the corner by Pam and Pat Daigle, where the speed limit increases. At any rate, these are just pictures not to, don't get hung up on the sidewalk or any of that. It just shows a few sections. Page number 1 does say, show where the safety starts for them when you get to the sidewalk or the shoulder on the other side. Page 2 is basically one step further, where you're at Pat Daigle's mailbox, where now the cars are told they can go 45. Well, you all know, as if they're allowed to go 45, they're gonna go however fast. Speed limits aren't usually followed anyway. And also, not only are they told now at that corner that they can go 45 rather than 25, they can pass there as well. You don't have double lines, so you can pass there. Page 3 takes sure, and this is I guess you could say this picture doesn't show much, other than it does show an approach coming into town. And if you look at the top of the roadway, you can picture in your mind that you're going to have a bit of a blind spot coming up. Page 4 is just a little ways further where you're at, coming up to the blind spot. When you coming in, there's only maybe 300 or 400 feet when you crest over to where you actually can see the apartment. Very little space. And Laura Jacobs come in there, sits around. One of the wheelchair people really don't have to go in the road. They have to work, they have to go to the road. There's little time for the vehicle to respond, and which then makes wheelchair people in harm's way. So, and then the next page, it pretty much just shows a little further in where Parkwood Drive is. And if you look right across from Parkwood Drive, you'll see the mailbox on the other side of the road. That's where Carl Weiss was hit last year. Carl Weiss was hit and thrown into the ditch. Like I said, I'm not campaigning sidewalks, I'm not campaigning roads, I'm campaigning something that can happen cheaply and help the situation now. All right, so you got a speed limit 45 miles an hour, vehicles able to pass, and roadways, wheelchairs perhaps in the road. The last page is all I'm going to do with you. My proposal is to reduce the speed limit. make this area a no passing zone. You've got just the corner by Pam and Pat Daigle's to pass the apartment buildings. There should be no passing. Why is that short stretch, especially under the situation of the handicapped people? And I think it just never was looked into. And the other thing is appropriate wheelchair signage in both directions, entering and leaving town as to wheelchairs. So if there's signs that people know there's a possibility of wheelchairs, if the speed limit is brought down, if there's no passing, isn't that one step that can be done now? It would cost the state pennies. It doesn't cost them too much to paint double line. It doesn't cost them too much to put up signs and reduce the speed limit. Because things don't happen fast in big money. There may never be a road improvement, but this would be quite a lot of improvement, I think.
I think I was guessing.
That's all right. So, great idea, that's what, I think it's fantastic. I had a comment, but I have a question for Ida. Where does state start?
The state starts
Or
right,
end?
it starts down, well, it goes right straight through the whole town.
No, okay. So the whole road is,
This whole road is state,
okay.
and the white
Are
line,
they
the
repaving that?
white lines up here by the bridge, they're gonna start paving right there and go all the way out through.
Okay, so, do you know names, DOT?
Yeah, I
Can we
just
get
sent a
this-
request
Can
in,
we get this stuff to them and request,
Especially if they're getting
if
ready
they're
to
gonna,
pave and paint.
if they're gonna redo the lines anyways,
yeah,
can we request that the lines be no passing, from the power line, or before, whatever?
yeah,
And also, the other item was, I don't know if they'll do the signage.
yeah,
Well,
well, I say
they
yes.
have to do
They have.
the speed limit.
The speed limit,
They,
yeah.
can we drop the speed limit, and if they won't do wheelchair, will we?
They, like handicap signs, any signs on the state road, they put up themselves.
They put up, okay, but if they won't pay for that.
I'm sure they will.
Okay, so can we get this information to them, or do you want me to, or I have no problem with it?
No, I just sent a request out last week to have all those roads in town, that we just paved. Because they're the ones that set the speed limits on town roads and everything.
Correct.
So I just sent a request to the guy that does it, and he's supposed to write all our roads
So
and,
can you get to these guys before they?
yeah, I'll send it out, send them an email and ask them if they can, do a double line all the way up through. to the-
Yeah, it's just no passing right up to,
Yeah,
even to, on.
and I'll ask him about some handicap, wheelchair signs and
And
drop the speed limit.
drop the speed limit. Those are fantastic ideas, man, that's, I think that's a
Right.
good start. Because there's really nothing,
No,
it's
that's all
all state,
Oh, God,
there's
yeah.
nothing we can do.
There's a lot of money wasted,
Yes.
yeah. But the thing that really bugs me is, because I started this campaign for the wheelchair people, the safety of them last year. And then I can't get it out from underneath of the so I'm back again. Well, last time I kind of long-winded trying to do a campaign. But the truth of the matter is, and everybody knew that a big change probably be hard to make happen. Things don't happen, big money doesn't get spent very.
But this can
This
happen.
could, this.
Oh, this can
This can
happen.
happen.
But you know what really bugged me? I just said it. I started last year, and back this year. The year before that, I talked to the guy at the state that I got the name from. And he's very quickly informed me that I gotta go through the town's gotta be the vehicle. I told you guys that last time. But what he did tell me, he could get signs from me. Guess what? That was 2 years ago, nothing happened. That's why I do need you guys as a vehicle.
We're
Because,
driving, we're driving.
yeah, but if the speed limit is reduced, you have the blind spot just past the apartment house.
Correct.
So if that double line from there should dig with corn. Because after that, get out the farm fields and who cares? But that's an area that should be double lined, and that's only a very short area, but it won't make people happy. People fly by the way.
Correct.
They do.
I know they do. I know what you want.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's 25 miles an hour, they're still gonna fly by.
These are great ideas, and they will get to the state, before they finish the road, they will get to the state.
thank you very much.
And thank you for thinking of that.
Still past what they
Yes, sir.
This may be a dumb question, but is it possible to talk to the state where they're repaving the road to increase the width of the breakdown lanes?
That's probably nothing we can do.
That's
That's money.
We did ask that.
Big buck. Every inch you add is.
Yeah, and it also affects the mistake.
But,
I mean, safety concern, in my opinion, if two cars can't go by without pushing a wheelchair into the ditch, it's
Correct.
kind of a.
It is scary out there, it really is.
But we'll start here and it'll help. It takes, you guys know that it takes forever to push a chain. After a while, all the links come together and we can push to a little bit, if you know what I mean. You know, and that's what we've been doing, Gary, for the past few years, is pushing a chain. But you keep pushing and it's a little work. Thank you. Anyway. Was that the only update?
That's the only update I have.
I have an update, I want, no, an update, on the bathroom and the mold.
Oh, thank you. It's actually on my administrator report. I was gonna talk about that, but I can do it here. Nancy apparently had some agreement set up with a contractor to go in there and clean up the mold and add a cabinet in and a sink. And it was right before I started, I had come one day and then I was on my vacation and I called from the airport because I had an idea that, so in that one select board meeting that I attended prior to that, I came in and Sharon had made a comment about how she couldn't get to the restroom because there was no bathroom access. And so, sitting in the airport in Chicago, I had the idea that we should have access to the bathrooms from this room. So I spoke to the contractor and told him that we needed to switch the way that the bathroom was going to be done. Instead of fixing that wall, we're going to open up a doorway right there, right where if you're looking at that hallway, there's a big reef in there, so you can look later on. That section's going to get opened up. The idea is to put a door there, and then we're going to take the door that's on the other side and we're going to use it, so it won't bring extra door costs because we already have a door. It'll just be drywall cost, and then he'll be able to rip out the mold. We'll have access to the bathroom without going into the office. And it'll get rid of the mold issue that we have in there. And as far as the sink access, it was so that the cleaners could fill up their buckets, and we figured out that if we get a hose and we attach it to one of the faucets that has a screw head, then they'll still be able to fill their buckets without actually having to have a sink. So I requested he give me a new quote to bring before the select board so that we could see the difference in the quotes and get it finally approved. And I have not received that quote yet. His response to me was he was busy until the end of August. So I don't think we're a pressing concern with him. And so what I wanted to request is that I put it out for other bids to see if we can get it taken care of, because that mold is still sitting. I mean, at the moment, the only people that use that bathroom are the staff, because we're gonna switch the staff bathroom and the citizen bathroom to be able to do this. But that mold needs to be cleaned out of there, and that whole section needs to be cleaned out. And ideally, it would be much better for all of the residents when they attend meetings in here to be able to get to a restroom when they need to without having to go into the office.
And that wasn't what I did.
I don't know, when I started, I was told that it was already arranged. I haven't even come across the paperwork for it yet. I'm still trying to go through stuff.
I think the same people that did some other work for us, but
But I requested that he send me the old bid, and he send me, you know, the new quote, and, I haven't gotten it yet.
You won't be able to put out.
Yes, I want the select board's approval to put out a bid to do the work, yes, and get it done.
I make a motion to put it out to bid, because I strongly approve that.
I second it.
So, motion is second.
Sharon or Larry?
You pick, it doesn't matter.
Okay, Sharon.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I do, I have a question here. How much did we give for the bathroom?
Oh, we split it. We did with something. I didn't bring my book with me. Where's your book?
I think it's in the car. I don't know.
I don't have my book with me because I was.
Is it
I don't know if I have it.
It was-
You need to put the check on.
I agree with you, but we have it in,
What did we split it with? How much was that? Was it 1,800 or what was that?
but it's already been approved for a certain amount
Yeah.
in a town meeting.
And what I don't know what that amount is, because I have not found any of the documents yet.
That's something.
But,
Oh, we split it with the, was
Oh.
it that?
The heat pump and they go around the other side, right? When I hear.
Something that you do.
The
Oh.
heater, the heater and the heat pump, right?
Right,
So it didn't go
so
out
it's
to
a
bid
three
either.
part
yeah, I
purchase.
think so. Well, it should be.
No, I'm not looking at you, I'm just saying.
And what
Those are good.
I want to do should be a significantly less cost, because I don't want to put in a sink, which means we won't need a plumber, and the plumbers are expensive.
Correct.
So,
Just want to make sure that.
No, I know, I hear
We're
you.
in on our amount for that bathroom.
Can I say something?
absolutely.
Sure.
Put it up bid, and if bids come in too high, say, no, we're not gonna take it.
Well, it's-
You don't have to,
That's
you
right.
don't have to take the bids.
But I mean, if you wanna get another bid right now, then
Find out how much we have, we put it out, we
I
put
do
out,
remember though, it was this and.
make the motion,
Exactly.
tentative to, maybe we have enough money, and we'll get the bid to it. At the moment.
I'm lost without my book. I'm lost without my budget.
Well, I mean, the motion that we have right now is to just put it out to bid, and then we can go from there.
So we can, yeah, we can reject it if we want.
Do we have to, because the change is different?
No,
Still
Well,
bad.
still
Okay.
bad construction.
Okay. All right.
So, good, we have a motion, and a second. All in favor? All opposed? So moved, 5-0. I'm gonna change the order of business
Yeah.
for a minute here. I don't know his name. Sir, I'm gonna change the order a bit, no?
He's gonna be able to talk.
Okay.
Because I see that your grandfather,
Yes,
he's getting quite tired. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
change the order of business and we're gonna let you straight.
thank you. My name's Ken Akins. I own
And yes, I got through.
Excellent, thank you. Very last minute, sending the email out, I got the notification for that from a lawyer a half hour before I sent it. So what I'm trying to do is I own 20.8 acres of land at 31 Barton Hill Road. And I've already actually cut off 5 acres of it. I did a survey. The surveyor never brought it to my attention that there was a land agreement that was passed in the 80s that had to do with subdivision. Fortunately, the lawyer found it when I was doing the purchase and sale. And I'm looking for some assistance, hopefully approval at some point to get this done. My brother, he's a Marine Corps veteran, moving up here from Maryland, and I'm just trying to get him something that's affordable so we can get up this way.
So what are you looking to do?
I'm looking to cut off 5 acres of my land. I have the survey.
Has it been split before?
It has not been split before, no. I acquired the land in 2017 from Robert Cesarini.
Okay, it has gone to planning board,
Excellent.
your request, but if it hasn't been split before, then personally, not knowing exactly, I don't see that as a problem.
Okay.
You have the right to do at least one, and I don't know about the town of Anson, I don't know about that. ordinance for the town of Anson.
Yeah,
So it has gone, I did send your email to Angel, and
Yeah,
she sent it.
and as soon as I got the email, I read through it and I sent it to planning board, because planning board is where it's gonna start.
thank
When
you.
do they meet?
Third Monday.
Third Monday.
Okay.
At
So,
5, it's here, right? 5:30.
so that should be next Monday.
I won't have a phone, but I think so.
So,
Where's your phone?
Excellent.
and I should have thought of it sooner, so that we didn't have to sit here that long, so they get tired, so.
Thank you. Yeah, and I know that there was part of it that was, you know, you had to get approval from your abutting property.
My grandson.
And he's my abutting property owner for the subdivision.
So as far as I can see, as far as what I know, that if it hasn't been split before, it's not an issue, you can split it, but you have to go according to the planning board, so.
Oh,
Good.
excellent. Thank you so much.
And I do have your email, so if I hear back from them and they want you to come in and talk to them, I will absolutely reach out.
Excellent. Thank you. Call anytime.
Okay.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you.
No?
Yeah, the air conditioner works great.
Yeah, that's why I was sweatshirt on.
Good luck. You probably want to have to.
Okay, number 6, other business, items from the board.
I have one. So personally, and then also a resident came to me regarding the election. I didn't get the school ballots. My daughter didn't get the school ballots, and then when we requested our absentee, granted I did it through the state, to request the state ballots. So I know what I would have done as a municipal clerk, but the other person that came to me came in, he and his wife, and voted in person. They got home and went, wait a minute, we never got our school ballot. And he said, I want to put a complaint in, and I said, well, you can, but go back to the town office and address it immediately
You just, they came in and voted
in person.
absentee. Okay, all right.
So that, it's just really a concern that ballots were not handed out correctly or attention to detail.
So that was brought to my attention.
Yeah, but I'm gonna.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And it didn't trigger when I did my ballots, and I didn't have time to come back in myself personally, because this happened on Thursday afternoon that I was told, and I was like, oh yeah, there is a school election. And then I was like, is there? Because I didn't see a warrant to sign. And I know that we don't have to approve that warrant in a meeting, a school one, because that's not really our election per se. But I was like, was there a school warrant? And so I wrote up to the post office, because that one's open 24 hours, and there was a school warrant where 3 board members signed it on the 12th, which we had a meeting, but I don't know when that was signed by 3 board members, or when you guys were asked to sign that.
To sign the school board.
Was that the one that was in the office? Was my name on it?
I don't know.
Because if it was.
I don't think it was. I think we were the 2 that didn't sign it.
Okay, then it would have been on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
A Tuesday that was off.
We had a selectmen's meeting.
We did, no, because it.
On the 12th, May 12th, it was signed.
Yes, there was a meeting that day because it was my daughter's birthday.
Okay, but if you and I would have signed it,
We didn't sign it.
then it had to have been signed before.
Okay. But it probably was on, I don't know, but it said that it was dated on May 12th. And I never got any, I went back to make sure I didn't get an email, I never got a call to tell me to sign it, anything. And so to me, that's also concerning. I wasn't notified. I'm just bringing that.
Because if you and I didn't sign it, it would have been a Tuesday off.
It was not, well, maybe,
That might be.
but it was stated that 3 people
Right.
signed it on the 12th, and then it got posted on the 18th. I
Okay.
have no idea.
Yeah, but
I
no,
don't picture of it.
but that makes more sense to me Because you and I, because I don't come in on Tuesday.
Yes.
Kim calls.
Yeah. And I never received a call. I actually received an email from her on the book, because I emailed him about another issue, and she sent me the information that day on that information, on what I requested. But I'm just not sure why. So.
Good catch.
I don't know about.
And I understand, but I mean, that was brought up previously a year ago by me about warrants.
I don't know about the signing.
Yeah.
I know what happened 30 years ago. I apologize for that, but I apparently signed it. As far as the
Ballots, and I don't know
ballots,
if there were
as far as the
more
ballots, I was called by my resident, and actually my Troy, something,
Okay.
and we discussed it, and I came back to the town about it, Kim and a couple of people that didn't get it came in before the ballot was even put out. So no, they didn't get it. It was before the 21st. If you came in absentee ballot before the 21st, you would not have gotten that ballot.
Okay, but there should be some protocols in place. I'm saying.
And that's what Kim said, that will not happen again, okay? It should have been, once we knew, because I had to come down and ask the question, so once that absentee ballot is sealed, can it be unsealed?
No, but another one.
You know, so I had to ask questions, I
Yeah.
asked a lot of questions, and,
How many absentee ballots were done?
so there was from what I was told by Troy and by others, there was one, may have been a couple, or may have been two. One that was after that date, and it was missed. The person, they just didn't pass it up, okay? That has been addressed, and it won't happen again, because there'll be protocol put in place. But as far as the others, those are the only ones that I know of voted after the ballot was put out that didn't get it. My knowledge. The ones that didn't get it before the 21st, a number of those came back in, were called, Troy did get a hold of them, and they did come back in and ask for a ballot, and they did vote. Were there others? I do not know. But, yeah, it wasn't covered. And it has been discussed. We can discuss it with Kim, of course. And, you know, there will be protocols put in place so that it does not happen again. Because, and Troy, when I was telling Troy about this, he was even, when I said, listen, absentee ballots start 30 days before the election, but you guys didn't get it to us 15 days. He says, really? So he wasn't really sure, didn't really know either. So hopefully that's not gonna happen again. I'm assuming he's on the school board, and hopefully that'll be taken care of there, and we'll take care of it here. And yes, I was extremely concerned, because that is one of our very fundamental rights, and it needs to be upheld with
Right. And it's,
precision.
I'm very passionate about it.
Oh, yes, so enough.
For many years, so.
Yeah, if you didn't come in and vote, then don't complain.
Right.
You know, but,
And for many years, I've always had to vote absentee, and
Yeah.
this time I was going to be away,
Yeah.
for sure, so I could not come here, but,
I personally addressed it because he called me and we talked. I came down here, I called him again, we talked again, and he said that he would get a hold of those people and whether they came in or not.
yeah, and the two that I spoke to, I said, go back immediately.
Correct. And ask for that.
Yeah, and explain it, and I said, you can void it, and
Yep.
if they did void it, you could get a line set, but, yeah.
Good, I'm glad you caught it, I'm glad you brought it up. I was going to, before the meeting was over.
So Kim asked that I share with the residents, so please spread the word. She is aware that there are still some things that need to be worked on. This is only her second year doing elections, so she's still learning as well. She was not the clerk prior to this. And she said that she found out during our election yesterday at the end of the night that she's gonna need a new warden to help her with elections moving forward, because Charlotte, who has been doing it for a number of years, has officially decided that she's ready to retire from that position. So she's gonna need a new warden, and she needs new clerks, she needs new ballot clerks to help. The ladies that were here, bless their hearts, they were here from the beginning of the morning, right before 8 o'clock, and we didn't leave here until, I think you guys left at 10:30, and then, Kim was here even a few minutes, and Kim and Maddie were here even after I left, because I have a 40-minute drive home, and so I left here at like 11:30, and they were still here trying to finish up a couple of things, because they were both like, we're closed. So it was a very long day, and the clerks that we had did the entire day. And so Kim was like, if there's residents out there that are willing to help, ideally, it would be perfect, because then some could do morning shift and others could do afternoon shift, so they didn't have to have such a long day. I have already spoken to her about additional training, because that's how we learn, right? You know, we can learn on the job, but it helps to have people with knowledge that can help us as well. And so we're not saying that there weren't mistakes, it happens, but we are gonna work very, very hard to make sure that it doesn't happen moving forward. Thank you.
Okay.
Jim,
Yes, sir.
I just had a question for Denise.
Yes.
Did you make any progress pertaining to the dust in your house at all?
It's been raining.
Oh, good. Okay, that's going helping
The
you.
problems have slowed down.
The signs work
And
well
the signs.
The signs did that?
for the majority of the people.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and they did come up and they put calcium down,
They did.
so it's been really well, really, really good right now.
Good, good to hear.
It was starts again, you get right after.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got a call there from Shannon, charges of people who care covered there, and it's ironic that it was in the packet tonight. And she was just inquiring about the payments. And I said, okay, but here we are.
There we go. All right, can I?
Yeah.
All right, so you have this paper in your packet. So this is the letter that was submitted prior to the town meeting. This is one of the charitable organizations that was approved to be funded by the town during a town meeting warrant. What we have not been able to locate was whether it was approved to pay them a split payment, which is what the letter is requesting. So from what I know, most towns, they pay one payment and it's toward the end of the year. That's how most towns do it. But this organization, when they wrote their letter, requested that part of the payment be paid around July 1st and the remainder amount be paid on December 1st. So this is why it's here, because if Larry hadn't brought it up, I was gonna bring it up because they came in requesting the payment. And I was like, we can't make the payment without verifying with the select board that it's been approved. So I know that it was approved to pay them. It was approved, and we know that. In order to pay a split payment to them, the select board's gonna have to give us authorization to be able to do that.
They could just ask for it up anytime.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't have authority
No,
to do that. So they came in and they asked for
They
their.
could have asked for it the day after the town meeting, the
Yeah.
14,000.
They absolutely could have,
Yeah.
but I don't have the authority to be like, okay, Kim, write him a check. I don't have the authority to do that. That's why we're
You
here.
do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
They approved it at the town meeting.
But in
So-
previous years, Shannon has got it in 2 payments, that's what I got out of it. Previous years.
Yeah, but I'm saying, the day after the town meeting.
So as
they
far as the
submitted a
select board is
request.
concerned, I could
whenever they want it, I'm allowed to give it. Oh, say this is good, this is why, I
Yeah.
got it.
If they want it in 2 payments, give it in 2 payments, but if they want it in 1,
So that was the question.
Yeah.
Is she allowed
yeah.
to split the payments? So,
Well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
But if they come in the week after and said, I want
I
my
want my
money,
money, I want it.
I want my money,
Okay. Perfect.
you get it. Because it wasn't not designated either way. Yeah.
Well, that was easy, I was just thinking was that easy.
anything else from the board?
No.
6B, items from the administrator.
All right, so I did give a report, I will make sure it's posted so that the residents can see it as well. You know, I'm continuing to try and understand the operations and the infrastructure and the personnel. I did go out with Artie so I could take a look at roads and road projects. I have not had a chance to meet the to meet the town assessor yet, because he has not been in. I also have not had a chance to actually go out to the garage. I found out where it's at, so now I know how to get to the garage. But I haven't been able to actually go out and see like how operations are done there. And I have not had a chance to visit either of the fire stations, but I do know where they're both at. I mean, I knew where one was because I pass it every day when I come in, but I didn't know where the one up in North Anson was. So Artie was really great about taking me up there. And I'm just trying to continue to build, you know, rapport with the staff. As far as the road projects we did, Artie has obviously let everybody know in the past that there's construction and paving going on right now. Because of that, we had a resident concern that has arisen because of the driveway, and I've been working with him over the last 2 weeks to try and resolve the issue. And I spoke to legal to make sure that we're doing what's in the best interest of the resident as well as the town. The first 2 times the resident was pretty irate, and we had a very nice conversation the last time, but I was like, please understand that I'm not arguing with you. I get you have a concern, but I need you to understand that not only do I have to address your concern, but I need to make sure that I'm doing everything in the best interest of this town and all of the residents of this town. And so he was like, I get it, you know, please understand I'm a businessman, and you know, so it was a very pleasant conversation, and Artie actually has done some more work on his driveway, and so I'm hopeful to follow up with him tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be good. But, you know, it's just a process always. I had on here about the ADA concern with the wheelchair, so thank you very much, Gary, for bringing it back up. I don't have to expand beyond that. I do want to say though that I was very impressed with your suggestions. So next time I need someone on a committee, I'm gonna be like, I gotta go find Gary.
Also, I did put my, both phone numbers on the last page. If the state wanted to walk the roads with me, talk to me,
Okay, cool.
no problem.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much. I've been working over the past couple weeks that I've been here trying to review files, organize, get the town, just to understand where things are. Some things I've been able to find, other things I have not. I'm trying to establish, you know, goals and stuff for the staff. One of the things that I'm looking to implement moving forward is, I know that the staff does oral reports currently, or they have in the past based on the couple of that I've attended. And I am going to move toward written reports moving forward. It is a little bit more work on the part of the staff member, and I understand that, but it provides greater transparency to our residents, which is extremely important when we're trying to make sure that the residents understand what we do in their town. And it provides a paper trail for the selectmen as well, the select board as well. And so it is something that I plan on implementing, and it will just improve a lot of communication. The property tax liens have been done, and Maddie's been working really hard to make sure that they're all set up. So she's been working on the discharges for 23, 24, and 25. And the sewer liens are the next thing that's going to be worked on. So I actually have a meeting with Nancy on Monday because I've never done sewer liens before. And so Nancy agreed to come in, and she's going to walk me through the process so that I can do that. I have been looking at town ordinances. I am requesting, not today, but I will be requesting down the road, that we actually set up some meetings that we specifically talk about ordinances and policies so that we can get them updated. Some I have been able to find, a great number of them are not signed or dated. None of them give the select board authority, that I have found, authority to make any changes at all, even minor. So like if you find a spelling error, they've gone through and they've scratched out and tried to fix the spelling. Well, that totally nullifies the validity of that document, because it was approved a specific way, and if they just go in and change it without having authority, then it ruins that. So then if we ended up in a legal dispute, then the lawyers would laugh at us, and we don't want that to happen at all. So that's one of the things that we need to be working on. The other thing is professional development. I'm a huge proponent of education. I used to be a teacher, in another lifetime. And so since I've started, I've attended the new administrator workshop. I've attended the budgeting workshops that are offered for MMA. I was registered for the Freedom of Information Act, or Access Act, prior to even taking this job, and then missed it because I was swimming in work here, so I missed that training, so I will be registering again. But I wanted to let the select board know and pass out to different residents that there is an elected official workshop offered in person and remote, and I found out at the new administrator workshop that the MMA and the state recommends that elected officials take that workshop every year. So if you've taken it, good on you. If you took it last year and you don't want to take it again, they're recommending that it's still taken because things change and sometimes reminders are good. It is offered in person and remote. And if you've never taken it all, then it is very, very important that you attend it. So it's June 24th. And then if it's in person, it's 4 to 8:30, and it's going to be in Augusta. If you want to do it remote, it's 4:30 to 8:30, and it's going to be on Zoom. And you just have to go on MMA, and you can register through your MMA account. And then there's a local planning boards and a workshop for appeals on July 28th. That runs from 4 to 8:30. That one is only in person, and it's in Bangor at the Hilton Garden Inn. So I wanted to let everybody know about that. I have been experiencing some technology issues related to email. And so I just want to let the select board know what's going on. So please understand, I know there's some huge concern based on history of what has happened in this town as far as losing data and all that kind of stuff. But when I moved into this position, I was told that we retain the same email, and then that email follows whoever the new person is. We live in a technology age where securities create lots of issues with that, because you have to be able to go in and validate your identity. And when you have multiple identities with the same email, it raises lots of red flags. So I was struggling to get in for, I needed to get in to look at FEMA grant stuff, and I spent 3.5 hours on the phone and the computer that day with 2 different agencies, because I had to go through the feds and I had to go through the FEMA grant to be able to do a workaround to be able to get in, because Nancy and I are both linked to that account, and both of our phone numbers are linked to that account. And so it was a huge issue. So it is something that I am asking that the select board think about moving forward. I know it's scary, but especially having things, we live in a digital age, and it just makes it more difficult. So just keep that in mind. There was something that came up today, and I'm a little brain fried, and that the same issue was the email, and I don't even remember what it was. And so I am working through it. But, so you need to be aware, because, if I die tomorrow.
We had this happen.
I know, that's why I don't like to say that.
And that's why we had one.
And I get that, and that's why I said I express your concern, and I will tell you that, because I had this whole conversation with Kim, so I am sorry, and I understand she was a lovely person, and a lot of people loved her, and please do not in any way take what I'm gonna tell you as, no concern about that. But, there's more to it than that. There was more to, I guarantee you there were bigger issues that caused the
We could
problem.
get in, we could get in.
No, I get that, I do.
Because one person was on it.
And she was on everything.
Exactly.
And that is a bigger issue. That is a bigger issue, and that's what I want you to understand, is that, and it's something that I'm imparting with the ladies in the office, it's something that I will be talking to all the other staff about. It is not in the best interest of any organization, be it a town municipality, or a private business, or your own home, where you only have one person who has access to everything. It's just not in the best interest of them. And I told Kim, I feel bad because the example that I have always used is, what if I get hit by a bus? And then I'm like, Kim, and it's very distressing because I moved into a town where you actually had a tragedy that caused this problem. But it's preventable, and it's preventable by making sure that you don't have one person who has everything, right? So, I understood, I absolutely understood why it was created.
But you had Nancy and your name on, and you still, it still got confused.
Yeah, because they're trying to put us on the same account. Not two different authorizations to link to the account, but the exact
So it
same one.
Presented to FEMA incorrectly, to have two identities.
No, because the way that technology works in right now is your identity is linked to your email, right? Your identity doesn't belong to my email, it belongs to your email. The way we're doing it right now, my identity and Nancy's identity are linked to the Anson admin email. That's what's causing the issue. But we have our own separate cell phone numbers, we are two different people, but based on the way their tech is set up, their tech is like, this is the same person.
So how are you gonna fix it?
Well, we spent 3.5 hours, and they were able to fix it for that one entity. But what I want the board to be aware of is that I'm having this issue consistently. I'm not done. I had another thing happen today, and I'm blanking about what it was, and it was the same problem. It was an email situation. And so,
Well, you gotta remember too, Beeline crashed on us. And then we had Spectrum come in, or Fidium, or whatever. And whatever you had for emails for Beeline, if you didn't download them before they crashed, they're gone.
Right.
So,
So is there, I mean, accounts like Sam, you can only have one name on it.
but you can have different levels of authority based on the organization, right? So that's what you have to think about, but
But if the top
they can't.
level goes down, then
Well, that's why you don't have just one person that's at that top level, ideally, I mean, I know it's difficult, and I get that.
No,
But
I've
the
dealt with
reason-
them before, and I know
I
that
know.
there's just,
I know.
some of them,
I know,
there's
some
no
of
way
them
around
some of
that
them are just
question.
very, very difficult. But the reason I bring this up is because I took this job with the thought that I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that I'm doing the best I can for your town. So when I see something that's going to cause a problem for you down the road, I want to inform you as the select board to let you know this is going to be an issue. So I am dealing with this, and I am fine dealing with this. Everyone that I'm working with is going to get this email. But I will not be dying in this job. I mean, it's,
You never know.
okay, that's very true.
You cannot
That's very
guarantee
true.
it.
But my plan is not to die in this job.
exactly, you can't guarantee it.
That's right, absolutely. But,
so at this
so
point,
I'm trying to let you know that the next person who moves into this position, you need to be aware that it will be an issue with them. And this is why I'm bringing this up.
so that it needs to find a way, if there is a way, to keep that from happening. So that's what we'll be looking for.
So
from you,
this is, yeah, so this is the
while you
reason.
work through this, is
Yes,
what is the way to keep this from happening in front of you?
Yeah, so my suggestion to you, if I had been in this position before all this had happened, always for security across you are better off having an email that belongs to that individual You really are, because the way the systems work, and you're with a company now that absolutely has the ability to do that. And it could have been another company, it didn't have to be them, but there's a lot of tech companies out there that can do this, they can even do it on the web. If you have all of your stuff hosted in a platform, then you can change the credentials so like, here's a perfect example. I just left Skowhegan. My email in Skowhegan was aaguirre@skowhegan.gov. That was my email. I left that position. All my emails are still there, and the town manager has access to every single email that I have. And any emails that come in to that email for people that I worked with are being sent to the town manager's email. His email is townmanager@skowhegan.gov. Because that's the way they have it set up. But there was another administrator in there that had a different, and they set it up so it just bounces to it, right? It's the way technology works. But there's a lot of ways to do that. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of knowledge to understand how it needs to be done. And so I know that it seemed like the safest bet, but because technology and fraud have become such an issue nowadays, and I personally think that it's horrible because they've put all these security details in place to prevent fraud. And just so you know, you might not be able to get into that email, but the fraud person's not going to have any problems doing it at all. Because they know all the back doors and all the things. So I'm not asking you to do anything but be aware. And that's why I have it on here. It was a reminder to myself to let you know that this is something to think about moving forward. And then I have two more things that are extremely important I want to just give you updates on. One of them is the Harold Alfond Center. Do any of you know anything about this center?
I know it's there.
He knows it's there. So the Harold Alfond Center actually offers a training workforce program that reimburses companies. So if you enter into a cooperative kind of agreement with them, then any training that your employee does can be 50% refunded through this program. So the town of Anson could sign up to do this, and then let's say Leanne decides that she wants to go to an MMA trial. She registers into the portal, letting them know that she's going to attend this. And then so we pay it, and then they reimburse half of that back to the town. And so it is a way for municipalities to increase the education of their staff and still get money back. And I actually spoke to somebody, and I'm still waiting for the logistics, because I had mentioned to Stacy that there's a way for fire to do their own training and get reimbursed for it. But I haven't gotten all the logistics, so I have not forgotten. I just don't have the details yet. And so, but I wanted to let the select board know about it. And then the other thing, it's not in here for approval, but it's something for you to be aware of, is there is a program out there called A4TV. It is a 55+ program, and it is designed to help provide workforce education to senior citizens who either want to move into a different field or want to return to the workforce or want to go into the workforce. And it is offered to different organizations, municipalities being one of them. The organization provides the funding to pay for that person 20 hours a week. So it would be a way that we could get a volunteer that could come in here, we would help train them on different tasks. They could help provide a little bit of relief from all the tasks that we struggle to get to. And they would be getting education and paid for it. The program, I spoke to the individual, and he said that they request that they have to qualify for it financially, and they're requested to do it for 4 years. They don't have to spend the whole 4 years with your organization, but they do ask that you at least consider 2. And they pay for them. So, and he said they pay minimum wage, so they don't pay them a lot. But it's a way for us to get some assistance. So the reason it's not in front of you with all the data is because I have put it out to legal to find out exactly
how this would impact us as far as workman's comp, and should something happen, right, to make sure that we're protecting the town while we're trying to save the town money and possibly offset some of the work. And so, and yeah, and that's, I know it was a lot, but that's it.
Good. Questions? You still awake over there?
I'm gonna spend an hour over now. I had Stevens like to come up and check out the pump station 3 to see why it was working so many hours. And the backflow in there, the paddle was broke off and it was laying down in the bottom, so they gotta rebuild put a new valve in. And that system's been in effect for so long, it's hard to get some of the parts. So the last one we just did, we put in 2 new valves that we put in to make it fit. So I told them to do the same thing, but they haven't got a price on the phone yet. As soon as they do, I'll bring it to you. But we're only running on 1 pump right now on station 3 because the other one had a backflow valve, so it just runs and when it shuts off, it goes back up and then it runs again. So we shut that pump off. And soon as we did, the hours went down on the pump station, so that was the reason the hours were so up so high. As far as highway goes, we've got the campground road, the horseback road, Hilton Hill are all paved. I've got the shoulders all done on campground road for now to get rid of the lip. The driveways have all been fixed up there so people are able to get in and out. The horseback road's the same way, Hilton Hill's the same way. Now we're going back, start and do the driveways the way they need to be. But when you've got 3 roads that get done within a week and a half time, 4 people, and you got a lot of culverts. We put 2 culverts in on Hilton Hill. We put 4 culverts in on Pease Hill, plus we cleaned the guardrails. We put another culvert in on the Conway, and we removed the railroad tracks on Preble Ave. So, and we took a big tree down up on the horseback road, so we put a ditch in up there. Plus we've done just over 4,000 feet of ditching. That's all been since the last meeting.
It's summertime.
Yep, and I started harrowing and reclaiming the shoulders up on horseback road today. But I can only work until, well, today it was 9:30 when I started heating up, I get off the hot top. But I usually get about a half a day on the shoulders. And like I said, campground road isn't done. I've done it so that it's got a shoulder on it, but the sod and whatnot, I gotta let it set there. It'll rot down, then I can go back in a month or so and chop it up again and then lay it out. It'll be all right. But we've been screening with the sand and screening some surface gravel. So it's been a busy summer, but everything's going along good. We've had Andy in here off and on when he's not working at the mill doing the flagging. So all roads that we need flagging on, boy, I've been using him on them roads so that we can still have the trucks so we can get the work and not drag it out. That's it.
Questions?
Yeah, Artie, did that young fellow get hired, Thomas or whatever, did he start yet, or?
No, he's not starting.
He's not starting.
No. He refused it. So we got 2 more applicants. But one wants $28 an hour, the other wants $25 an hour with no plowing experience.
Not your job, he didn't want your job also.
So I'm gonna call him up and talk to him and just let him know that we can't pay that, and if they're still interested, we'll set up appointments so they can come in for interviews. If not, then we'll have to keep it posted.
Thank you.
Jeff Ireland at the South Station last week. I know I mentioned to you guys that the recorder box that was in the meeting room stopped making a lot of noise because when it always ran, it made a lot of noise and it was really irritating. So it stopped working, and come to find out, he got into it, and the fan that actually cools the components in there is what actually has stopped working. But he said that system there that's in there, he says it's kind of an old system, but still manageable. He didn't think there was enough cameras on that building, inside the building. He would like to install a couple more. So I asked him to get me a quote, and he knew that there was a conflict when we went to go have Jeff put the cameras in up at the North Station. We tried to tie the system in together, and Computer Improvements didn't want to relinquish the security stuff, so I guess that's been all resolved according to Matt Rice. And he's supposed to get a hold of Matt Rice to see what it is to get into there and put some more cameras in. So I told him to give me a quote. He wanted the model numbers of the cameras just to make sure they're not too old. And I told him I'd try to get that information for him. And I haven't heard anything back from him yet. I'm still waiting for a quote from air compressor and the drying systems for the north and the south. Bill Masterson down in Skowhegan. I stopped there on Friday to see what the holdup was, because I know it's been a long time trying to get this in place. He was waiting for FW Webb for a quote on the copper that's going to be placed in the South Station. Haven't heard anything yet. And I know we had an issue with engine 83 on one of the fires on the Horseback Road. It went to go into pump mode again. Since then, that has also been resolved. Northeast came up and fixed that. I also got talking to John Kerr. He was the one that was had painted the South Station. And he had mentioned to me back then that some of the ridge pole, the ridge cap and some of the other stuff was starting to rust. In a few years, might want to get it checked on and maybe fixed. And I asked him to go ahead to jump on it and look at it and see how much it would be to repaint it, do what he needs to do to it. That was 2 weeks ago, and I asked him to drop off the quote here, and I don't believe anything has showed up, so. Otherwise than that, and to recap on the donation of the fire truck, engine 81, I reached out to Searsmont, talked to the assistant admin, and she forwarded me the chief's information. I reached out to him, left a message, haven't heard anything back, so that kind of tells me that they're probably not really interested. The next entity I could reach out to would be the next fire department, which I believe is Appleton. I'm not sure. I told the guys and girls at the fire station I'll try to look into it and see if that's something they want. I don't know.
Well, there must be something on Facebook or something, because in the bank when I went over today, they said, oh, it was so nice of Anson to donate that truck to. And I went, oh, yeah, it was.
I haven't heard from anything, and everybody's got my contacts, so I don't know. I'll reach out again.
I went over to
It was discussed on camera.
She said it was very nice for you guys to donate.
No kidding, right? We went to CCS this week also, did touch a truck with A&M, and I believe Daryl had brought one of his mini excavators up and a small dump truck for the kids to come out through. They had quite a little program going. They had, what was it, 5 or 6 revolutions of kids, I believe, right here, yeah. And it was a constant flow of kids. They got to go through the ambulance and got to go on the fire truck and
Walk through them all.
Ask
questions,
a lot of questions, yeah. And they didn't care too much, sorry Daryl, about the little excavator. They said it wasn't big enough.
I was busy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what we said.
But otherwise than that, went well. So that's about all I got so far, knock on wood.
Awesome. Any questions? Thank you.
The only other thing I have to add is, I know apparently I have to ask permission to take a truck to the school or whatever on a short notice. I don't know how that's gonna work, because I don't know when these calls come in, and to get approval from the board on short time is almost impossible.
We've never had to do that before. Why all of a sudden is it an issue on yesterday's event? We've done many events in the past.
I've had trucks leave the station, I didn't even know back in the day when we had full-timers.
Right, exactly.
Is it in writing anywhere where we're
Exactly.
supposed to
Well, it will be.
report that?
It will be.
It will be, but it's
It will
not
be.
though, correct?
It will be by the next meeting, because there's liabilities that are there. All we're asking for is that we know. That's all, and we didn't know.
You knowing though
We
isn't
didn't
gonna
know.
change
I
anything.
was told this has been happening forever.
It
Well,
has.
okay, fine, but now it's gonna be happening. We don't have a problem with it happening. We just wanna know. We knew about Emden because you talked about it.
Did you know, well, you didn't
We
know
didn't
about half
we
of
didn't
this
know about-
other
we didn't know
stuff
about nothing.
until it's over.
We didn't know about, so.
So
there
the
you
car,
go.
what
There
about
you
the
go.
car wash? You didn't say
There
anything
you
about the
go.
car wash
So-
we held at
so
the North
starting-
Station. Is that,
Starting next,
is that an
meeting.
issue?
we'll have a policy that says we want to know when this stuff is happening, because there is a liability to the
So-
town.
What's the liability?
This is a different liability.
What happens
than
when
the
somebody gets
emergency
hurt
guys
walking
on
through
our
that
call.
fire station, that fire truck?
What is that? I can't.
What happens, sorry, I know it's an echo. What happens when one of those kids get hurt walking through that fire truck? We're liable. We
I
want
have
to know,
no
we
idea.
want to know. We're not restricting, other than we want to know on paper that it's happening.
Okay, so I have a question.
Good.
We have a meeting tonight. I get asked tomorrow if we can do something for whenever, before the next meeting. How are she supposed to get all of your approval before that event to let them know?
It can be-
You want it done with
She's
mass
asking
text?
How?
Okay.
Mass
Well,
text
one
message?
thing, you need to start talking to people about, well, we can't do this tomorrow.
But we've always been right there. Oh, I can't go fight a fire tomorrow because I didn't get approval. You know what I mean? That's like
What was that?
that's like getting a call.
I didn't hear what you example.
Oh, it's like getting a fire call. Oh, I can't go because I didn't get
So, you say
approval.
no.
Well,
Anything to
we've
do-
always done
anything to
PR
do-
for the school and never been an
Right.
issue with you guys.
Anything to do with the public, anything to do with the public going through stations or equipment.
It's always been our chief's decision, not the board.
Well, let me tell you, the chief is run by this board.
Correct.
So is the fire station. So we need I'm not restricting anything. We're not restricting anything. We're saying
it
we
more.
want paper trail on what's going on.
There is a paper trail. We filled out a
Ahead of
form.
time.
You might not know ahead of time.
It's okay, I have another thing.
Like the parade.
School's insurance doesn't cover for who they invite out.
Can I just work?
Yeah.
Okay,
Asking.
I've been in this business
I know.
longer than anybody's been in any one of these positions here. I've been through the good, been through the bad, been back there again, been to the top, been to the bottom, been to the top, been to the bottom. There are times when phone calls are made, because we are in emergency services, that some things have to be done at the drop of a hat, that we can't call you for, okay? Had Stacy or Jeremy not been around, and I'm only speaking because I'm probably one of the ones that would stick my neck out and say, because this is a public relations thing, I would have told them to go. And if there was a problem, bring me in here and hash me over. I'll go up against anybody, I don't care. But there are just some things, what it appears to be is now you're taking her trust away as to what she's allowed to do, because she's the chief, she's responsible for all that equipment. And if she makes a decision to do something PR, all we need to know is a handful of things, what the liability is ahead of time. And then fine, if we can't, like we can't fill pools anymore because it's a liability. We don't do it. PR and just some things can't be notified ahead of time, and it don't make sense. It just looks to me like the town is trying to micromanage what's going on in this firehouse.
Liability's
Or
not
the
gonna
firehouse.
change whether they know about it or don't know about it
And I'm
at that
I'm
moment,
not
so.
here trying to be a power struggle, it's just some things, if we were gonna go out and burn a house, yeah, you should probably know. If we're gonna do something for the public that is PR, it's training, it's all of the above, now, all that time was donated. Actually, 2 of them were on my payroll while it was happening.
Yeah.
So I'm the one that should be crabbing here because I had to pay and I didn't get to work that day. But nevertheless, I think that things are trying to be micromanaged here for something so silly. Had there been some big to-do, like Madison Anson days, okay? Yeah, you guys know what's happening. But the school calls for a fire truck for a parade, sometimes 2 hours before it's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
So, we have to scramble to try to make it happen. I just think you're trying to micromanage what's going on in the fire service. She informs you everything that goes on. I just think it's going a little too far. I understand you guys wanna know, well, she fill you in what happened. I mean,
If the kids win a championship from the,
yeah, oh yeah, in the middle of the night, we get a phone call, can we
he gets
get
a phone call, can we get a truck to escort them back to town?
at 10 o'clock at night?
It's happened forever.
Many, many
You know,
years.
that's probably more of a liability than going to the school. Because you're out in the traffic and driving down the road, and most of the time, you're not even in our own town.
It should be the chief and the deputy chief's discretion.
That's how it is right now. There's nothing on paper saying it's needed.
I just
She
think that's.
reports financials.
Chief knows about it, for no reason she can't let the board know about it.
Half, it,
As a.
I agree, I try to keep you
Before-
informed of
before it
everything that, before it tries to even happen, but sometimes I just can't. I can't do it, it's just how it happens.
It's not a report. It's not that, there's not a, sometimes I just can't. If you know about it, if you're.
Well, then you better make, you guys need to make a list on what you
let-
want notification on, I guess.
Then you can let them.
she didn't know about it
At least a board member know about
in between the meetings. It was, it
it. And
happened.
if she doesn't know about it, it shouldn't be happening anyways.
So you're telling me, Pam, you don't want the fire department to go do these things
Without him knowing.
without this board or her notified?
No, I want this board notified.
I've been on
Wow,
several.
and you're not
departments.
gonna have people that's gonna be able to go, because it's a spur of the moment thing that happens.
So she
Madison
can't-
doesn't do it,
so
Skelly
Stacy
doesn't
can't make
do
a
it.
phone call.
Stacy could be in friggin' Bangor or
Then
Portland.
Jeremy can't make a phone call.
He could be in
So the
Augusta.
captain can't make a
Then it
phone
could be
call.
on him.
Or it could be.
No one can make a phone call to a
Jim,
board member.
I
to
tried to
say-
call you 2 days ago, and I didn't get a report until, I think it was today. Stacy made a phone call to you
I know, yesterday morning.
yesterday, she tried to talk to you.
But to get approval, we need the whole board, not just one member.
It could be
So
one board member.
that wouldn't
It's
work.
gonna be all of us. And that's ridiculous.
Skowhegan doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Tyler works on both.
I just know the last 10 years of my life, I've been on 5 different departments. I work full-time for one of the last 6 years, and people can call at 3:20 in the afternoon, they have an engine down there at 3:30. And we have an engine down there because we don't even let our chief know. Like our chief distills the knowledge upon us, he trusts us enough.
At least I let you know.
The liability doesn't change whether we let you guys know or not. If a kid gets hurt, it doesn't make a difference if you knew about it or anybody knew about it. The liability's there. Now, don't get me wrong, if the opportunity presents itself to let you know, I feel as though it can happen.
I'm not talking about emergency situations.
Well, I'm not either. I'm talking about touch-a-trucks. I've been to several hundred.
That you've already known, there was no reason it couldn't have been brought up last meeting to say that this is gonna happen.
The school didn't contact me until night, like
That morning,
I was just told that it happens every year.
it does happen.
But
for
different days.
Then
Okay, I
don't
want
you-
permission
then
for the
why don't
whole
you get-
year of all their school
We're gonna
functions.
do it next year, the year after, and the year after.
Why don't you get a hold of those people and say, listen,
Because they call me personally, can I have you tomorrow or in a week? And that is great, but if there's no selectmen's meeting in between then, I call my chief, to get permission and we make it work.
I'm not talking about you guys, I'm talking about your chief. Or Jeremy, they need to let us know what's going on.
Why? What does it change?
What does it change?
My question, like, I'm just curious, what does it change?
It all comes back here, it all comes back on this board.
So you
Michael,
guys
No,
know,
it comes down to it, it comes back on this board.
Actually,
I don't know, man.
it's gonna land on her butt.
yeah,
It's her,
Year after.
not
no,
us.
it isn't.
No, it's me.
It's
It's
straight,
her.
it's state law that dictates
State law,
that.
it's me.
So any other items?
Where do we stand with that? What do we, how, you said
gonna-
nothing's in paper right now, nothing's in writing.
You're gonna lose the town by doing it.
Gonna lose the.
Yes.
Are we gonna put anything in, I'm not trying to be a, whatever, but in order to move forward, we have to have a plan, right? And right now, all we have for a plan is, we need to tell people, but there's no plan on how to do that, and anything like that, and we're gonna let the meeting go.
It's just some of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
We need permission for August.
It's crazy, and it all started with you.
They know
You,
that-
Ann.
They know,
I'm sorry,
they know
it
what
started with you.
Anything else?
Because everything is legal.
Yeah, how do I get permission for the one in August? We have something at the end of
So
community.
do I put something in writing for the whole year? Any kind of PR functions for the school?
Stop. Dad,
Alright, that's.
You have it?
And if they call you tomorrow, you can't do it. So that's gonna go over.
So-
No, there's no
There's
vote,
no
there's no
vote.
vote, this is a one person talking right now.
but he said it's going to be.
This is, it's not a we.
That's
How
right.
does
It's
that,
not a we.
do we
I never
have,
said we.
can we
You
do
keep
it?
saying we.
I speak to board.
It ain't we.
It's
We
not
don't
we.
believe, we don't agree with you.
Okay, then fine.
So shouldn't there be some kind of?
Fine, it's a
Can you make
board,
a
so do it, whatever.
I'm just saying, do I make a schedule for the whole year? Anything to do with the school kids?
You don't have to do anything right now.
So, I mean.
Well, the phone call, like,
Do we have any other,
Bullshit.
anything else from the public?
Yeah, I know, I wanna have this settled tonight, because we
Well, settle
could.
it.
Well, let's have a vote.
You're the one that started
Make
the
a motion.
ball.
Make
No,
that-
no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You started.
There are four more people here. All you have to do is make a motion.
I'll
All
make a
you have to
motion
do is
that
make a
Stacy
motion.
is in charge of her
All you have to do, all you have to do.
and that she can
Be careful.
make a decision
Be
if they go out.
careful on what you're saying.
No, or not.
Be careful on what you're saying.
public.
Who called Stacy?
There's no more discussion on the subject.
Who called Stacy?
I can make that decision.
It needs to be
There is no more
discussed.
discussion. The board is gonna make discussion. They
Talk
can
about
make a
last
decision.
year,
So it's totally up to the board right now. So make your motion.
I did, I made
What is it?
are you ready to listen?
Listen.
Okay,
Listen.
I'm making a motion that if her fire trucks leave her fire station, it's under her discretion for public functions,
Which is an SOP already.
which is already an SOP in their policy books. Not Angela's and not just you, we, it's ours.
You have a motion, you have a second.
Second.
Yep, we have a motion, second, any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Two abstain. So, any other public?
Next, I got one more question. On the new employee handbook that the town has now put in place, do you want me to present that to the firefighters to read and sign again, or does that even pertain to the firefighters?
There's a new one that's been put in place.
Well, since Nancy changed it.
Nancy changed it again?
Well, the one was done before she left.
I haven't seen it. Have you guys seen it? You'll have to see it first. You'll have to see it first.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about it. You guys?
I have two versions, and neither one are signed by the select board.
Did you see? So, there's your answer, you don't have to
I have
do
this
anything.
one. Okay.
What's that? Any other item besides that one? Good. Number 10. A motion to adjourn.
You still don't have to tell us.
But she didn't have to tell me.
No more. She
I know.
forgot.
Read it out. That's what I don't understand.
Don't answer the phone next time.
All in favor?